Hi, welcome here to Trojan Stadium on a beautiful October night. We have the Richland Rams, who are 4-1, facing the 0-5 Johnstown Trojans. And believe it or not, this is the last game of the regular season, as the playoffs will start next week. I'm Ed DiMartino. I have another change. Again, we have Fred Yanity, who is not here tonight, but don't worry, he is okay. He just had a commitment that he had to be with, so do not worry, Fred is fine. But we have Jim Penna back with us again tonight, and as always on the field, P.J. McGowan, our Emmy award-winning sideline reporter. So welcome, and Jim, this game is going to be one of those matchups. I mean, Johnstown's had a very tough year. Richland's starting to roll on all cylinders here. We'll see what Johnstown's going to come out with, but you kind of expect this game to be one-sided, obviously.
Well, I mean, if you go by that record, if you go by that 4-1 record versus that 0-5 record, sure, that's what you're looking at. But in a when we're talking about college football or the pro game, this is a classic trap game. The playoffs have been moved up. Richland, every statistical factor here has them in a spot where they should be able to beat this Trojan football team, and as we've said so proudly so many times, a lot of the key contributors are younger ball players. Coach Bailey's might be his principal challenge tonight, might be keeping these guys from looking forward to next Friday and taking on whoever that might be. I think Northern Cambria, if it unfolds the way we think at this point. So in that regard, tonight will be about focus, about execution, about the Richland Rams not falling trap to the whole I don't know if you're familiar with the whole transitive properties, rule of transitive properties, but it's a weird fact, the way the season has gone in the Lower Highlands Conference so far this year. We actually only have one common opponent on the books right now. We played Cambria Heights, and they played Cambria Heights. They lost by 30-something. We won by 30-something. So if you're a believer in that transitive property, then you think we're going to win by 70. But there's a reason it goes on there. The other danger you have taking an 0-5 team right now is that they really don't have anything to lose. And when you're trying to build a program that's trying to turn things around, a win over a team like Richland here tonight can be a starting point. So they're not going to be as shy about going for it on fourth down. They're not going to be shy about running trick plays. They're not going to be shy about being aggressive or maybe blitzing every time or selling out if they saw something in tape that they think is a tendency about overcommitting to it. So that's going to be the key. I mean, just how aggressive will Johnstown be? They certainly have some athletes on the field. Will Richland be able to stay in their lanes, do what they need to do in offense, and just have good habits all the way around? And that'll serve them well, moving forward. Not only in this year, but as we've said again with these young players, having those good habits and doing the right thing every time, making the cut in the right time, not just relying on natural athletic ability, but executing the plan. That'll be a big thing for them. So I think that's going to be one of the challenges. And early on, Johnstown will hope for a sort of a wild kind of turnover fest, with mistakes. That'll play into their hands. If you see a disciplined approach, if you see Richland methodically going downfield or the linemen hitting their blocks and doing it, it should be Richland's night.
PJ, we're going to head down to you real quick because we got a little late start. We had a little technical difficulties, but we are on. So, PJ, conditions on the field as always. I think Richland is receiving, but you can give us all the details.
Richland is receiving. They won the coin toss. We're going to leave the scoreboard side of the Johnstown field. Great night. It's calm. There's really no winds right now. In the mid-40s, it's perfect fall football weather, Ed. So we're happy to have fans back in the stadium. We have a good contingent of our Richland parents and other fans here right now. And welcome everybody on our RMG Richland Football Network. We're glad to have you with us, and we're hoping for another big night for the Richland Rams. So, Jim, welcome as usual. You're always great to either hear in the background at Hurlinger Field or actually to have you live in my headset like I do tonight. So appreciate you being here and giving us a hand like you usually do.
Well, it's obviously a pleasure to be here. I will have to admit, the first game that I did, the Cambria Heights game, and my son Sam had a couple moments within that game, a very strange feeling. I've called many a football game in my career, and a weird thing to call a game with your son on the field. So we're hoping to hear a little bit of his name tonight as well. But Fred's should be at home right now doing some things. So shout out to Fred Yanity, who I'm sure is listening closely and watching and waiting for it to go. So the Rams will get the ball here, and I think what you're going to see is Coach Bailey try to get a hold of this game early. The longer you let an 0-5 team in a game, the more likely are they start feeling good about it. Everybody's saying perfect conditions, but in about a half hour, it's going to be about 39 degrees here. And with that river curling around this stadium, it could be a little chillier. You want to make the other team want to go home by halftime.
Absolutely. The only thing nice so far is, like PJ said, there is no wind, and that is a big, big factor. We don't see it usually at Hurlinger Field. Lots of wind there, not so much wind down here. Back deep to receive for the Rams are going to be Graydon Lewis and Griffin LaRue. And there is the kick. It's going to go to Griffin LaRue. Picks up around the 15, gets to the 20 to 25. Makes a little turn, goes outside, and will come just shy of about the 35-yard line. They'll mark it at about the 34. Richland will take over first and 10.
Well, the Rams have come out and done different things to start the series. They've run the ball so well, and really that's a tribute to the depth of this Richland lineup. Graydon Lewis, a sophomore, has done a great job. Evan McCracken, a freshman, also. And let's keep in mind, those guys were 3 and 4 in the depth chart when this season started. Injuries has caused that problem, but they have been up to the task to this point.
All right, Kellen Stahl into the gun to start the game, as always. You only see them go behind the center once in a game, and that's usually just in the victory formation. Evan McCracken now will set himself to the right of Stahl. And Stahl dropping back to throw. He's looking out to the left side. Has a man. Nice catch over the shoulder. Ball's knocked away. It is in bounds. Not sure if that's going to be a fumble or did the ball go out of bounds. I think it's going to be a fumble. As the ball was knocked away, it stayed in bounds. Trying to catch number of the receiver was number 5, Sam Penna. Had the ball stripped away, and the ball did not go out of bounds, stayed in bounds. So that's what you're talking about, Jim. Just the kind of thing the Trojans are looking for, a mistake by Richland. And now the Trojans will take over first and 10.
The amazing part of that is that ball managed to stay in bounds, or that Sam wasn't out of bounds whenever it happened. It looked like he had fallen it. Obviously, the camera, you watching at home, probably have a clear angle of what exactly transpired at that point.
Great over-the-shoulder catch by Sam Penna, and unfortunately the ball stripped away. So the Trojans will take over first and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Just underway here, 11:42 in the first quarter. And it will be...
They've got 2 quarterbacks that they run in and out.
14, Simeon Cobal, who will pitch to the left side. Ball taken over about the 25-yard line, about a 5-yard gain. Pitch was to number 6, DeAndre Sampson.
Evan McCracken was one of the defenders in on the play at the end of that. And right now, Johnstown wants to test the perimeter of Richland. They know that there's big size and aggressiveness up the middle of the defense for Richland. So, not a surprise. They want to see what's happening on the outside.
All right, Cobal in the gun, and he is flanked by Bryce Yoder. And Cobal back to throw. He will swing out to Yoder on the right side. Yoder up over the 30-yard line, enough for a Johnstown first down as they get to about the 31-yard line. They'll mark it at the 32.
Evan McCracken got himself there, but didn't quite have the right angle on it. Got a left arm on him, but not enough to bring the ball carrier down. And by the time he scrambled and rolled out right, he had picked up the first down. We had wondered whether this would be difficult from the press box following these numbers in these Trojan uniforms, and they are a challenge.
All right, Cobal hands up to Yoder, who will try the left side, but he will go nowhere as he's met there by Nathan Kniss, by number 11, Bryce Batchy, all in on the stop. So no gain on that play to bring up second and 10.
I tell you, Kniss did not shed the blocker and still managed to reach around the blocker and make the tackle on that. That's an impressive display of strength.
They'll give him a loss on a play of 1, so puts the ball back at the 31. Second and 11 upcoming for the Trojans. Bryce Yoder will sidecar Cobal to the right. Sampson in motion. Cobal back to throw. Cobal looking. Throws out to his right over the head of the intended receiver and almost found DeAndre Sampson, who was lurking over the right side, but it'll fall incomplete and bring up third and long.
Oh, okay. So a change in the Trojan lineup tonight. Number 1 is Tavion Thomas is number 1.
All right, so we have Tavion Thomas as number 13. So
and Yoder is a scratch tonight.
So Yoder's a scratch. There you go. So Tavion Thompson, number 1.
Tavion Thomas, I believe. So.
Thomas, all right, got it.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
All right. Cobal back to throw. That's going to be picked off by LaRue. LaRue has it at his own 40-yard line, trying to shed the tackle as he gets over the 45 and gets to about the 47-yard line. So Cobal tries a long throw on the left side, but waiting for it was Griffin LaRue who picks it off. So exchange of turnovers here to start the game. Richland will take over. 9:36 remaining in the first quarter. Scoreless here
It almost looked as if the Johnstown receiver didn't see the ball, that it was overthrown so much. He almost looked like he was still waiting for the pass. And you're right, Griff held up and waited for it. Actually, a good job by the wide receiver for Johnstown to come defender to get a hold of Griff and keep that from being a long return.
All right, so first and 10 for the Rams will be a handoff to Graydon Lewis, who tries the right side. He gets over the 40-yard line into Johnstown territory, shoots down towards the 35. First down, Richland. Good hard run there by Graydon Lewis.
Looked like he was going to run out of real estate in that right side, but managed to keep enough of his balance to cut that back in and turn it into a nice gain. I think what Johnstown's going to find is that Richland probably has the edge in terms of speed and the backs that they're going to throw out there. Both Evan McCracken and Graydon Lewis are quite capable of turning that corner.
All right, Richland at the Trojan 35-yard line. We have
We got a shoe
official
kicked off
timeout,
for
but a shoe was
Johnstown.
fell
I
off,
think
and
we
they're
get that
back in
straightened
play.
out.
There we
How
go.
often shoestrings hold up youth sports in this area? So.
9:21 remaining here in the first quarter, scoreless. Stahl back to throw, looking for Graydon Lewis, who didn't quite turn around, but Stahl will keep it himself as he gets over the 30 and steps out of bounds right about the 25-yard line, just short of the 25. So good gain on first down.
I'm not sure whether Graydon thought his pattern was further out or that Kellen wanted to get rid of the ball quickly, but Graydon was alone out in that left flat. They'll probably come back to maybe shorten up the route. But had Graydon turned 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, he would have taken essentially a long handoff, and I don't know anybody would have stopped him on left side.
It'll bring up second and short, though. Lewis will stay in at running back. Stahl back to throw. Stahl going to try for the end zone on the right side. He tries for LaRue and just over the head, so it'll fall incomplete. It'll bring up third and short, and obviously this is 4-down territory, Jim, so...
Yeah, that deep post, that deep fade pattern, although certainly Griff's an athlete to pull it off and can go up and battle for the ball. That's such a timing play. And even though we're in the last regular season, you think about how little football these guys have actually played at this point, and especially since you've transitioned from a guy who was Mr. Everything for Richland last year and Caleb Burke. Griff has certainly been the main receiver, but led the team last week in receptions with only 4 receptions. So the ball has been spread around, so got to work on that timing.
Empty backfield here for Stahl, and he will keep it himself as he goes over the right side. He pushes in towards the 10-yard line. It'll bring up first and goal as the ball is spotted, I think, right at the 10-yard line. They put Sam Penna in motion on the empty backfield, fake the handoff, and Kellen Stahl keeps it himself. And Richland's in business.
Well, Sam has 2, lateral, we call them double pass, and certainly he's attracted a lot of attention. And on that play, his contribution is what he didn't do. When he went in motion, the defense clearly keyed on it, and you can't give Kellen Stahl, that first 3 steps without contact. He's just too strong.
All right, so McCracken now will be the running back as Stahl hands off to McCracken. No, he keeps it himself, goes out to the left side. Stahl turns the corner. He's got the 5, and he will walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Richland Rams.
I got to tell you, that fake was so
that
good.
Fooled me.
I think even Evan McCracken thought he had the ball. A good option read there by Kellen Stahl. PJ, I don't know if you saw that. He waited the last minute to pull that ball back to him, and everybody thought Evan had the ball.
Yeah, I was right with Evan McCracken on that one, Jim. Beautifully executed fake and clear sailing for Kellen into the corner of the end zone. So the line did an outstanding job as usual on that play.
All right, so Autumn Facion now to attempt the extra point. She had a good game last week, missed the first one, but then converted, I think, the next 4. Autumn Facci up this time, and that should be good. So Autumn Facci finding the way now. She had a rough start to this season, Jim, but finally starting to find her form. And Richland goes up 7-0 with 8:31 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, in the home games when I do the PA work, when she makes good, we call that splitting the horns. So she's back to splitting the horns for the Rams, and that's a good thing as you start to head towards the playoffs. A couple of good things on that. Richland showed that they can run the ball. Johnstown's going to have to pay attention to Kellen Stahl. We know that he can run it, and not that Richland wants to necessarily avoid it, but you don't want to be solely reliant on that. Right. I think everybody agrees in that first game against Bishop Guilfoyle, Kellen Stahl basically put this young team up on his shoulders in the fourth quarter and to the point of exhaustion carried them home for that victory. That's not something you want to have to do week in and week out. And these young guys have certainly come into their own that they all can contribute in a number of ways. So An exchange of turnovers it becomes a net zero. Richland takes advantage of theirs and turns it into points, and they've got the early advantage.
All right, so it'll be Cullen O'Dowd now on to set up the kickoff for the Rams.
8:31 left to go in the first quarter. There's just something special about that 8:31 number. I'm a little surprised. I got to tell you, even with the COVID regulations, and obviously tickets are limited. I would tell you that the attending Richland crowd is every bit as big, or perhaps bigger, than what I see on the Johnstown High side.
The Richland side travels very, very, very well. We've been on some extended playoff runs, and the Richland fans do travel well. And I believe is that number 3 back deep for the Trojans.
It is.
Wazir Stevens back to return, but it's the up man that'll pick it up. Ball is on the ground, picked up by number 11 for the Trojans, and taken down quickly there. Sam Penna, along with trying to catch a number here, I think that's Evan McCracken, able to make the tackle on Taekwon Britt.
Well, I'll tell you, the tough part for Mr. Britt there is once you if you don't catch that ball cleanly, of course the thing rolls like an Easter egg and has a little hop to it, and you've got to focus on it. By the time you look back upfield, there's enough speed coming down there. There's not a lot of good angles to take at that point. So fortunate to recover the ball. That's why they tell you just jump on it. He still tried to make something out of it, but the Rams quick to cover. This is about the spot where they took over following the fumble on our first possession. So
just 1 yard left. They'll start at their own 19, the Trojans. It's 8:23 remaining in the first quarter. Richland leading 7-0. Kobal will hand this ball off to number 6. That is DeAndre Sampson, who tries the right side and able to find some real estate as he pushes close to the 30-yard line, as that should be enough for the first down for the Trojans.
Well, I'll tell you, we don't get a flag in the play, and I'm going to give the referees the benefit of the doubt that they can see better down there than I can see from up here. But it looked to me like a Richland defender suddenly went face forward on the play, and that could have just been a trip. I expected to see a flag there, so I guess when I rewatch the game on Saturday morning, I'll know if I saw what I thought I saw.
All right. Kobal going to be back to throw this time. Kobal looks over the middle deep, and that's going to be overthrown as the only 2 receivers back there were Richland, as Kellen Stahl and Griffin LaRue are back. There's a flag on the play. And I'm not sure what this is going to be, Jim. Could be a hold on.
Well, I mean,
I'm not sure where it's thrown.
Given where it is, and how far the ball was back, you would presume that it's an interference or an illegal contact downfield, because there was no Johnstown High receiver anywhere near that throw. The officials could simply pick it up and say that it was a non-catchable ball at that point.
It would be against Richland. PJ, did you catch the call? Was that a defensive holding?
It was defensive holding, but I do not know the number it was called on.
All right, so defensive holding called on the Rams. That'll push the ball to the 39-yard line of the Trojans. 7:41 remaining here in the first quarter. Richland leading 7-0.
Johnstown has run with motion every offensive play, and that's their second deep pass in what amounts to 6 offensive plays at this point. So they're certainly going to be aggressive. 2 men in motion that time. One of them went forward.
Yeah, so that is going to be an illegal procedure here on Johnstown.
Looked like an explosion at a hanky factory there. They came from everywhere.
Jordan Ford will check out. Dominic Bethman will check in for Richland.
I'm sure that's part of the frustration, although I haven't followed the Trojans from week to week. You tend to, when you have an 0-5 team, you tend to have a lot of those small self-inflicted wounds. That time you're going in motion. You just got a defensive break with an interference call, and then your wide receiver jumps off.
All right, so 1st and 15 upcoming for the Trojans. They are at their own 34-yard line. Kobal again back to throw. Kobal will try the left side. Griffin LaRue in coverage there. And that was the intended receiver was number 3, Quazir Stevens.
Yeah, he had 3-on-3 there. Griff was dangerously close. He did have a paw on his shoulder. He managed not to squeeze and get the interference call, but Quazir managed to get a step, and he got around him. I think Griff tried to jam him up the line, and that's where he got the step, because beyond that he was going stride for stride.
That'll bring up a 2nd and 15 now for the Trojans. They're at their own 34-yard line and trail 7-0 here. And this is going to be number John Updike in at quarterback. Updike now will throw out to the right side, has a man along the sideline. That was number 7 on the reception as Damani Roebuck.
You know, Updike, they run these two quarterbacks in and out, and Cobal, the senior, Updike is a freshman, and he's also the second leading rusher in this team, so you can expect to see him run from that quarterback position quite a bit. Their leading rusher actually is Updike with 262 yards. Tyrone Thomas is their second leading rusher, and he's not in the lineup tonight, so you would expect Updike rolling out. He'll have a run-pass option almost every time.
All right. Updike will stay in the game, and Updike will roll out to his right, and he looks and he throws along the right side. Back shoulder pass, but long, broken up there by Evan McCracken. Nice defensive play by Evan McCracken. Nice back shoulder throw by Updike, but Evan McCracken able to put a hand in and knock it away. And that'll bring up 4th and 10.
7:20.
PJ looked to me like Evan guessed right there. He played the hands of the receiver. He had his back to the ball. When the receiver reached for the ball, it looked like he got his paws in there. Did you see a better angle of that?
No, exactly what happened. Got the same view as I did. I mean, he was right on top of it the whole time. Great play by Evan.
All right, and they're going to quick kick this thing as the ball hits at about the Richland 31-yard line and will roll all the way to about the Richland 15-yard line. So a quick kick there by Johnstown puts the ball back deep in Richland territory. Richland leads 7-0 here with 7:07 remaining in the first quarter. And Jim, if you want to run down our sponsors who we can't thank enough along with Romansburg Media.
Sure, our sponsors, and we're going to need more of them as we head to the playoffs. We want to thank Precious Metals and Diamond Company, Chansung Song Medical Center, Best Window and Door, Blade Broadband, Rizzo's Italian Restaurant, the Fifth Bar and Grill, formerly known as the Alabama, Wayne Langerholt for Senate, Advanced Office Systems, Dean Jordan Goodyear, Ponchione Financial, Cardinello Eye Care and Optical. We'll get back to our sponsors in a moment as the Rams prepare to run a play.
All right, Kellen Stahl in the gun. Kellen Stahl back to throw. Kellen Stahl gets a little pressure, has to roll out to his left. He'll keep himself, crosses the 20, the 30, and steps out of bounds. So Kellen Stahl is just taking what the defense is giving him. I think he may have had a man over the middle, thought better of it as the pressure was coming. Rolled out to his left and saw nothing but open territory.
It looked like Jordan Ford and Ryan McGowan were running the same pattern. I don't know that could be right. They were both within 5 yards, and they both appeared to be open. That's the other thing. But clearly Johnstown's committing resources to try to cover the receivers, and nobody is paying attention to the fact that Kellen Stahl can and will run the ball.
All right, so the ball brought out to Richland's 31-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Rams. Empty backfield. Sam Penna will go in motion to the left. Fake pitch. Stahl getting some pressure, and he will be taken down for a loss. So good pressure there by the Johnstown Trojans as they sack Kellen Stahl.
Well, that's the second time Sam's has gone in motion, and they faked the pitch. The last time led to a great run for Kellen Stahl. A little bit better reaction from the defense, although I got to tell you, it was the guys to his side that managed to close ground quickly. One more step, and I think Kellen's out of there.
All right, so a 3-yard loss on the play pushes the ball back to the Richland 28-yard line. 6:25 and counting here in the first quarter. Again, Richland leading 7-0. 2nd and 13 upcoming. A Stahl in the gun. Evan McCracken will split to his left. And it'll be a handoff to Evan McCracken. It goes up the middle. Evan McCracken crosses the 30. He gets to about the 32. That'll bring up 3rd down, and they'll give him the 33. So 3rd down and about 8 upcoming.
It's a bit more manageable. See some confusion on the left side for the Trojan defense. That could create an opening for Richland, and Bailey is changing up plays. Perhaps he sees that the late substitution, that guy on the left side, not sure what his coverage duties are.
All right, Stahl will drop back to throw. Stahl looking out to the left, puts a lot of air underneath it. That's going to fall incomplete. Looking for Sam Penna, and the ball just overthrown. A little too much air underneath that ball. Sam Penna had about 2 steps.
Well,
receiver.
Again, we had made the point a couple of times with deep ball to Griff. Sam also a sophomore, and getting the timing down for your individual receivers is a difficult thing. I will say that the defender on that right side managed to jam things up. Richland apparently going for it on 4th down from their own 20-some yard line.
They're on 33, yeah. 4th and 8 upcoming. And we'll see if they're going to maybe try to draw Johnstown outside and make it a shorter play, but we'll see. 4th and 8. and they will run the play as Stahl rolls out to his right. Stahl has a man. It's Griffin LaRue, and enough for Richland first down as he gets to about the 48-yard line. Nice play by Richland. Nice throw and catch. Stahl to LaRue.
I tell you, Griffiths had a few balls get through his hands there. That was a difficult catch near the sideline that had to be made, and what a demoralizing thing that can be for a defense. You get them 4th and 8, and they don't punt it. They go for it, and they get a completion like that.
All right. Ball spotted at the Richland 47-yard line, 1st and 10. Evan McCracken will sidecar Stahl to his left. Evan McCracken now switches to the right. Griffin LaRue will go in motion across the left, and Stahl back to throw, looking for a screen play, I believe, and the screen will fall short as he was looking for.
You're going to get the late flag there,
and this could be.
That's going to be a late hit on us. Connor Rager, not aware that the play was over, continued the block. The pass was bounced and was incomplete, and it was not in his line of sight. And he's an aggressive physical player as it is, and once that ball's bounced and you knock somebody over like he just knocked somebody over, you're going to draw the flag. Let me get back to these sponsors real quick. Cardellino Eye Care and Optical, thank you very much. Echo Safe Sanitizing, Nico's Restaurant, Johnstown Construction, FWF Insurance and Erie Insurance, Pinnacle Chiropractic Spine and Sports Center, Flair of Country Catering and Event Planning, Sporting Good Discounters, FX Screen Printing, DB Homes, Slovenian Savings and Loans, and we welcome to the Richland family tonight Trawler Square Insurance, family company with roots right here in the Lower Highlands. Thank you, Trawler Square.
Yep, can't thank all our sponsors enough. And you said, Jim, we're going to need them more as the season goes on. As we get into the playoffs, there is certainly a higher fee to cover these games. So if you're listening and you want to get involved, be sure to get hold of PJ McGowan, and he will take care of you, all that you need to know. And we would welcome all sponsors to the broadcast.
We've gone deep left side multiple times now. Ryan McGowan, fresh legs on that outside.
All right, 2nd and 25. As Stahl will keep it himself. It goes up the middle, and Stahl pushes towards midfield as he'll get back to about the original line of scrimmage. So ball at the 47-yard line. Brandon Bailey not happy about something. It's going to bring up 3rd and manageable, though, Jim. This is going to be about 3rd and about 9 upcoming.
Boy, Brandon was really barking that time out. I'm not sure if he's unhappy with the officials or unhappy with his players, but he said it with great verve. PJ, what do you see? We're not getting a lot of push up the middle, but it's the plays aren't designed to do that. I think our line has got good protection for Cullen. It's creating those lanes, but usually we talk so much about that offensive and defensive line that this game isn't lending to their talents.
Yeah, I don't know if we didn't come into this game respecting this team as much as we have, if they haven't been fired up. I can tell you, I'm feeling that our line's slightly flat right now. But Bailey's a little hot right now on the sideline because these guys aren't playing, and that goes for skill players. They're not running their routes to key or so. You're going to see these guys getting shaped up and starting to get into the flow of the things here real quick. But this is the Richland team that has a 1-game loss to the other best team in the Laurel Highlands by a close margin. I mean, this is a fantastic football team, but they're a little sluggish right now. So, you got to respect each team and come out like any team can beat you. I don't know if Richland has that right now. Let's see what happens.
Absolutely. This is a big tune-up game for next week as we start the playoffs. This is a game they don't want to look flat in. They certainly want to go into the playoffs feeling good about themselves, and so far they are a little flat. But they do lead here 7-0. They have the ball at their own 47-yard line, 3rd and 10, we'll call it. 4:55 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, Johnstown likes to run straight man, so it's a lot like a basketball game out there. The guy guarding you is going to be the guy guarding you wherever you go all over the field. So,
all right, Stahl will hand this off. It's Graydon Lewis who comes right to us on our right side. 45-yard line, 40-yard line. It is going to be a first down, Richland. Good hard running by Graydon Lewis as he steps to about the 39-yard line.
I tell you, one of the best aspects of that play just now is what Griff LaRue did. He laid a nice block, and it wasn't a crushing block. It was more of a basketball pick. Since I just used the basketball analogy, you resist the temptation to hold, put your body squarely in front of his. It gave Evan enough room to turn the corner, and then Evan does the rest.
Stahl hands off to Lewis again, and turns the right side. Lewis over the 30-yard line. Makes a spin move to 25 to 20. Lewis still on his feet and gets to about the 19-yard line. Good hard run there by Graydon Lewis.
I have to think Graydon was completely surprised he was still on his feet. He spun to get the extra yardage, and nobody managed to knock him down. I think he expected the defender to be there. And it looks to me like Brandon Bailey decided the wake-up call to his team needed to be, all right, well, let's start pushing people around.
That'll be Graydon Lewis again. That's going to be, might be something there. I think it'll be a face mask. We can see it right here from
it's a classic horse collar.
Oh, yeah, just grabbed the head, and saw Graydon Lewis's head snap back as he went on the right side of the line.
PJ, you a big rodeo fan? Because it looked a lot like he got lassoed and brought down like a calf at a rodeo.
I was looking for his markings on the side. But there's no branding. Hey, I got to give a shout out to I stumbled into Richland High School office, and I ran into our school nurse Jen Batchy, who has 2 starters on this defense, and she told me her son Brady, who was a Richland football player in the past, him and his friends are watching all the where he's at. We'd like to welcome to the Football Network and Ram Nation and thank him for watching, and hope you're enjoying the broadcast.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. And there's a pass over the middle. It's Jordan Ford, and he walks into the end zone. So Jordan Ford from Kellen Stoll, another Richland Ram touchdown. And I think you're exactly right, Jim. Whatever Brandon Bailey was very upset about, called a timeout. His players came out inspired. We saw 3 runs by Graydon Lewis and now a pass into the end zone from Kellen Stoll to Jordan Ford. And Richland goes up 13-0 pending the extra point. And I think we might go for 2 as Jalen Triplin. Bubba J will step into the backfield.
Well, you've got
you got all but one senior out there.
Yeah, it's a senior formation going on.
All but 2.
All right, so they will go for 2 here. Jalen Triplin now will go to the left of Kellen Stoll. And Stahl will hand out to Jalen Triplin, who goes up the middle, and that is going to be a good 2-point conversion from Jalen Triplin.
The Bubba J.
15-0 Richland here with 3:54 remaining in the first quarter. PJ, that was just a rumbling and bumbling there by Bubba J.
Hey, that's something that boy's going to remember the rest of his life. You know, he's a senior. 2-point conversion. Bubba J is a big part of Richland athletics all around. I mean, he's an idol in the school. He's a friend of everyone's. I mean, God bless him, and I'm really happy for him right now, and I know the Richland team is. So that's a good thing our coaching staff does here. They reward these guys. They might not be the biggest playmakers every down, but they keep the team up, and that team spirits as much as is moving the ball forward every outing too. So great for Bubba J and the Richland Rams.
Well, Bubba J is going to remember it, but he tips the scales around 278. I'm going to tell you the middle linebacker he hit at the end of that play is going to remember it as well. That's his sprint. We call that Bubba J walking. He just gradually crosses the crosswalk and into the end zone. So.
All right, so it'll be number 3, Quazir Stevens. Back to return for the Trojans. Cullen O'Dowd on a kick it away for the Rams, who lead 15-0 here. 3:54 remaining in the first quarter.
Johnstown had a little difficulty grabbing hold of that last kick. We'll see if Richland tries to hit it into an open zone up a bit again this time.
And O'Dowd will kick it in about the same spot. Picked up again there by number 11, Tyquan Britt. This time able to handle it, but he steps out of bounds at about the 26-yard line.
Well, where they're marking it, it looks like he stepped out of bounds almost as soon as he caught it. Sam came in for the tackle, but they both eased up as the whistle came in late there.
Yeah, so PJ's right there.
He had a full foot out. I mean, good stride out. So he was. It wasn't a question. Sideline judge was all over it. So great call on him. Good observation.
I do think we've mentioned the line, and Coach Bailey gave the inspirational speech to him in that timeout. But I think defensively, one of the reasons you're not seeing an absolute push from our defensive line, I'm going to guess a good part of their responsibilities are to contain these running quarterbacks. So they want to apply pressure, but they want to keep lane discipline so the guy can't get outside them, because with these receivers running deep, there'll be a lot of running room in the middle of that field if they get by the first wave of defenders.
All right, Updike will stay in at quarterback. Updike back to throw. Updike will try the left side, and he has a man. It's Quazir Stevens. Good play there by Griffin LaRue. Stride for stride, able to stick the hand in. And that's one they came back to earlier in the game, Jim. Quazir had a step on Griff. This time about stride for stride, but almost a great one-handed catch by Quazir Stevens. But LaRue able to pop a hand in there and knock the ball away.
He had it in his palm, and if Griff doesn't continue to hand check, if he just gives up on the ball at that point, that's probably a reception. It could have been a very long one. So,
all right, 2nd and 10 upcoming now for the Trojans. Updike will quickly throw out to his right, bobbled there, but caught, and really kind of a no gain on the play, maybe even a loss of a half a yard. They'll bring up 3rd and long.
Well, those quick hitter plays like that, once the ball's bobbled or if the snap is too low, or anything that disrupts the timing of that makes it a much easier play to defend. You're relying on the cushion the defenders are giving the wide receivers, getting the ball to them quick, and having that athlete make a move somewhere. Once that ball was bobbled, then it became a fight for survival at that point, and Richland, as you know, swarms to the ball.
They'll call it a loss of a yard, so ball back to the 25-yard line, brings up 3rd and 11. As Updike will stay in the quarterback, will go into the gun.
Well, when Johnstown tried the deep ball, they've tried it to the side of whatever hash they're on. So if they're going to throw a deep ball, you'd suspect that it's going to go right side, at least the way they've run their offense so far.
All right, ball snap. Updike back to throw. Updike does try the right side and out of bounds. In coverage there was Sam Penna. So that'll bring up 4th and long.
I was hoping Sam heard me warn him that long pass was coming right side.
I think you can feel it, Jim. I think you can feel it.
So when they have a moment to talk to Kellen Stahl, who's playing that deep safety role, they're going to start not only tipping him to that, but the quarterback is staring that receiver down on that. So the deep ball going towards the hash that they're on, and he's not looking at a secondary receiver. He's waiting on the timing, and he's trusting his receivers to win the battle.
Richland will drop nobody into for this punt. It's going to be last time they did a quick kick. They will do it again, and the ball will bounce at about the 50-yard line and come backwards. So Richland will take over into Johnstown territory. Ball spotted at about the 49-yard line. Richland already leads 15-0, and now, Jim, they're in plus territory with 2:43 remaining here in the first quarter.
Well, Coach Bailey, after a very aggressive timeout, brought the guys over, and what we saw was a drive that was exclusively the run until the actual touchdown inside the 5-yard line. It's a difficult balance for Coach Bailey. Not only is he wants to establish a mentality, but he also wants to run the offense. He wants these guys ready to run any play in that deep playbook come playoff time.
All right, empty backfield here for Kellen Stahl. Jeb Jordan split wide to the right. Stahl will drop back to throw. Stahl looking to his left. Stahl looking for Griff LaRue on the sideline. He's got Griff. No, he dropped the ball. LaRue, I think, just took his eyes off it just for a second, unable to haul it in. He had a couple of steps and just unable to haul it in. Ball will fall incomplete, bring up 2nd and 10. Ryan McGowan now will check into the game.
We checked in. I think that was Jeb that he checked in for, and Jeb also ran a deep route on that right side. So the man that's guarding him, you've got fresh legs versus winded legs, and look, they're switching that off, maybe anticipating that to try to get some speed on McGowan.
2nd and 10. It will be, I think that is Graydon Lewis, who's able to truck it as he gets over the 20. The 15 to 10, the 5, and in the end zone, Graydon Lewis. Touchdown, Richland Rams. Great lead blocking there by Jordan Ford. And Graydon Lewis able to take the handoff, pick his way to the left side, and just find pay dirt.
His second spin move of the night. This
Fantastic.
time he fully anticipated that he wasn't going to be knocked down, and the spin move worked. And I don't know if that's a weapon. I don't know that I've seen him do it to this point in the season. I'm not trying to think back, watch him come up through junior high or not, but twice we've seen the spin move, and this time that's a big result.
49-yard run from Graydon Lewis. Autumn Facci on now to attempt the extra point. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So Autumn Facci 2 for 2 on the night. Great to see as we head towards the playoffs. That's the one thing Fred always talks about every week is special teams, and you've got to have your special teams rolling, especially as we get as we move on here, Jim.
PJ, you and I have watched a lot of junior high ball with these guys coming up with Ryan and Sam being in the same grade. I don't recall seeing Graydon pull that spin move, and here he's done it twice tonight.
Well, you know that goes because he hasn't ran against defensive line what he's running against, but I think Graydon's always been a tough runner. The kid doesn't shy away from a hit. He's a true Ram. He's a bullheaded rusher. He puts that head down and rattles horns. So I'm really impressed with him. I mean, you dropped two good backs, awesome backs, like Sable and Mangus this year for injuries, and have him step in and perform the way he is. Just great hard work from a young rusher. This experience is going to pay dividends for him in the future.
Well, speaking of those backs, I do want to bring up, and it was going to be part of our pregame mention. We were a little slow getting on the air tonight, but Jake Sable only played a game and a half, and he's still the 24th leading rusher in the conference. And that just tells you the kind of – and it was against two of the better teams in the conference, and Bishop Guilfoyle in a half a season against Bedford, or half a game rather. I'll continue on this point in a moment after the kickoff.
All right, Cohen, no doubt, on to kick it away. He's going to find that same soft little spot there. Number 11, Taekwon Britt picks it up, and he's pushed out of bounds as he steps close to the 30-yard line. We'll see where they mark this, Jim. Yeah, but the 31 is where the Trojans will take over as they find themselves down 22-0 with 2:17 still left in the first quarter.
Yeah, I wanted to point out that that you've got Graydon Lewis is I think somewhere between 12th and 16th in the conference in rushing, and really didn't get any serious carries until just in the last three games. Evan McCracken is in that top 20, top 23 group, and if you were to combine them up, and it was their job to replace Sable, that's a top 6 running back, and that's only 3 games' work. Jake Sable, when the Rams losing him at this point in the season, statistically you can make the case they may well have lost the best running back in the conference in that second half against Bedford.
Updike keeps himself as he, I think he's going to lose a couple. The ball was spotted at the 32, and I think he's going to lose a yard back to the 31. Quarterback keeper, but Richland held their lanes very well, Jim, and able to pick that up, and goes to the defensive line. There was there to stop him.
I do. I think that's part of what's, and I didn't talk to Coach Bailey about this ahead of time, but it does seem to me that the defensive line for Richland isn't doing its usual surge to try to get to the quarterback. They're trying to win that first yard and create a wall where he can't get around, and certainly in that case, the quarterback draw, there was nowhere to go for it.
2nd and 11 upcoming for the Trojans. They'll hand this ball up to the right side as that is Tavion Thomas, who will push his way over the 35 to about the 37-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd and about 5. And we got a little shout from Fred Yanity, who is listening, and he sends his wishes to Ram Nation, and he will be eager to join again next week. And again, Fred is fine, so anybody that's worrying about Fred, there is no worries. He is fine, just had some things he had to take care of at home. Back to throw is Updike. Great pressure there by Bryce Batchy. Being flushed out, he's hit hard. And gets pushed out of bounds by number 1, DeMont Johnson.
Well, he managed to get away from the first wave of pressure there, and he was trying to wait to make a pass, and if he would have committed to the run a little sooner, he might have been able to cut that back in. But waiting that extra second, couldn't quite get around the corner. So Johnstown at this point down by 22. Looks like they're going to at least try to go for it on 4th down in their own territory.
Yeah, 4th and 5 from their own 37-yard line. Updike in the gun. Updike will drop back to throw. Updike has some pressure coming up. Updike will have to take it himself. He has enough for the first down. Dragged from behind by Connor Rager, but able to cross midfield and get in Richland territory. Takes the ball to about the 48-yard line of Richland.
Well, I don't know if that was his intention to run the entire time or not, but I will point out again they were on that hash mark. The deep pattern they ran was on that side of the field, and that's not to say that a lot of high school teams don't prefer to do that, but that just seems to be what Johnstown's staring down. So if you're lined up on a receiver on the hash that they're favored, you got to watch that deep ball.
Updike back to throw. Updike has to roll to his right. Updike getting some pressure now from behind. Updike's going to go down. Nathan Kniss from behind, Bryce Batchy from the front, and that will be a loss on the play. It pushes it all the way back into Johnstown territory as that ball is going to be spotted at the 44-yard line now of the Trojans. And that'll be the end of the first quarter. Richland leading here from Trojan Stadium, 22-0. You're listening to the Richland Ram Football Network. We are back with you from Trojan Stadium as that is just the end of the first quarter. Richland leading here 22-0. And again, we just want to thank our sponsors. I'll run down through real quickly. Can't do this without them. We thank Romansburg Media every week as well. Precious Metals and Diamond Company, Chan Soon Chong Medical Center, Best Window and Door, Blade Broadband, Rizzo's Italian Restaurant, The Fifth Bar and Grill, which is formerly the Alibi, Wayne Langer Hulk for Senate, Advanced Office System, Dean Jordan Goodyear, Ponchione Financial, Cardellino Eye Care and Optical, EcoSafe Sanitizing, Nico's Restaurant, Johnstown Construction, and we'll run down the list just a little bit as we're back to action here as the Trojans have 2nd and 18 upcoming from their own 44-yard line. Updike will pitch the ball out to the left side, and Johnstown is number 7, Damani Roebuck, turned the corner, but able to take it to about, we're going to spot this, Jim, at about the 46-yard line. So about a 2-yard gain. It'll bring up 3rd and long.
Well, I tell you, you don't necessarily want to try to get all that back at once. I'm not sure if that play call is going to net them enough that they've got a manageable 3rd down. 3rd and 15 with this defensive line is an issue.
All right, Updike. Back to throw. Updike drops straight back. Steps up and then he's hit by the wall of Richland Rams and sacked. So another sack by the Richland Ram defense. We'll go ahead and continue here. Johnstown Construction, FWF Insurance and Erie Insurance, Pinnacle Chiropractic Spine and Sports Center, Fleur Country Catering and Event Planning, Sporting Goods Discounters, FX Screen Printing, DB Homes, Slovenian Savings and Loans, and Trawler Square Insurance, who's a family company with roots right here in the Laurel Highlands. But thanks to all of them, and again, if you want some sponsorship information, please contact PJ McGowan.
So 4th and 18, Kellen Stahl back to receive a punt. They've punted multiple times tonight. This is the first time we've actually sent back. No, they're going for it.
Throw it Updike, going to throw out to his left side. Back shoulder again, and able to be caught. And that is going to be not a first down, though, Jim. I think that's short. So Richland will take over. They ran the fake this time.
Well, let's see if those sticks line up or not.
That's going to be short, I believe. PJ, you're right there as well.
I'm a little off, but I believe it is short.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a first down Richland Rams.
Well, Sam Pennant was on the defense of that, and
they're going to
clearly
bring the
lost
chains
track
out
of
to
the ball.
measure. But from our angle, they would have had to get to. Trying to think where they started, Jim, when they had the ball at the Richland 48-yard line.
It's going to be short.
And this is going to be short. This is going to be a full yard short of a first down. Not even sure why they brought out the sticks, but that's a full yard short of the first down.
Well,
so Richland will take over.
4th down, and you're close enough. The offensive team is on the opposite sideline. They probably deserve to get the look from the chains rather than not get the look from the chains. And then, from that angle over there, you certainly, if you're the head coach for Johnstown, you got to wonder how far am I off? At least bring the chains out. What's the hurry? I will say, Sam got caught on that one, managed to recover and get the receiver down.
Short of a back shoulders are very hard to defend, though, too. That ball was thrown short, and Sam unable to adjust on it, but the receiver has the better look coming back at that ball, so tough play for any defender. Richland takes over 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line, leading here 22-0 with 11:02 remaining before halftime. Kellen Stahl in the gun. Stahl will hand off to McCracken, who tries the right side, switches back to the left side as he goes over the 45-yard line and gets to about the 47-yard line. Let's see where they put it. 46-yard line.
That cut was almost a little bit too steep for his skates. I mean, he is a beautiful cut back, but the thing that tripped him up was just the center of balance was off on that hard cut back. If he keeps that right foot planted, he probably goes a long way on that.
Able to still pick up 7 yards, so very nice on first down. Brings up 2nd and 3. Stahl fakes the handoff, looking long. Stahl has Sam Penna and just overthrown. Had Sam Penna open and the ball just a little overthrown. That'll bring up 3rd and 3.
I'll tell you, that's his 3rd deep pattern tonight. So the hamstring's going to be sore in the morning for Sam.
It's going to click one of these times. Ball just overthrown each time. Sam had a couple of steps there as well, and the ball just overthrown. Graydon Lewis now will step into the backfield. Pistol formation here for the Rams. Stahl will hand off to Graydon Lewis, who goes right up the middle. Graydon Lewis is gone. Graydon Lewis, another Richland Ram touchdown right up the middle. And Graydon Lewis with his 2nd big run of the night for a Ram touchdown.
Well, that's a 54-yarder there, and part of that, certainly the offensive line did a great job, but part of what happens there is you see enough fake handoffs and enough little pitches that Kellen Stahl is keeping the ball. You find your eyes, if you're a middle linebacker, cheating, waiting to see which way Kellen Stahl is going to go, and all of a sudden Graydon Lewis is on top of you. And as we've said, he's certainly fast enough that if you don't catch him clean coming through the line of scrimmage, he's going to make you pay.
All right, Anam Facci on now to attempt her 3rd extra point of the evening. And the kick is up, and the kick is good. So Autumn Facci 3 for 3 tonight. And I have a shout out here. Fred Yanni just texted me that Eugene Perry, who is one of my good buddies as well, played a lot of roller hockey against Eugene. Eugene Perry is listening. And Eugene, so glad you're listening, buddy. Miss you. Hope to see you again soon. We'll talk sometime.
That was very touching.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
It was a very heartfelt shout out.
Seriously, Eugene's such a cool guy. Haven't seen him in a long time.
I'm going to warn everybody now, if you're texting me looking for a shout out, my wife has my phone.
My wife is down below. She came and gutted us out. Unfortunately, my son is out for the year. He's going to have shoulder surgery on upcoming on Monday to repair his labrum. Two dislocated shoulders in about 4 months' time. So he is going to get some surgery on Monday and hopefully be back stronger for next year. But
that's tough. That's a tough break for a young man.
He knows he'll get through it, and I said he'll come back stronger. But my wife is battling. Actually, it's not that cold, so she's actually.
Well,
doing
we're actually in a press box. We have a window open, so it's a little chilly. I would think the people on the stands wearing the knit caps might think differently.
Well, we could ask PJ. PJ, is it very cold outside, or it's not too bad because the wind's not really up?
No, it's comfortable.
See, there you go.
Nice night. Much different than being at Hurlinger.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. If we were at Hurlinger, you got to imagine this wind would be about 20 miles an hour and very frigid. All right, Cohen O'Dowd now on to kick it away for the Rams.
Such a big gap between the front line of Johnstown's return team and the second line of Johnstown's return team. So such a temptation to just try to drop a ball in there and if you're a kicking team.
And no true deep man here for the Trojans. They have 3 guys all playing at about the 20-yard line, as the Richland Rams have kicked just about every time to about that spot at the 20. So Cohen O'Dowd puts this ball in the air. Ball fielded at about the 20-yard line. And it hit hard there. That's number 11, I believe, again. That is Taekwon Britt, who handled the ball and got hit as he came to the 25-yard line, met by a wall of Richland Rams.
PJ, did you catch a number on that tackle? 66? I'm not sure.
Number 36 and 14.
So Xavier Manahan and Ethan Box. And that ball is fielded. They give him the 30, looks like the 31-yard line is where the Trojans will take over.
Well, to his credit, Britt didn't go down. He didn't go forward, but he didn't go down. The play ended there with a loud pop.
Updike will remain in at quarterback. Coball started this game at quarterback, had a couple of series, and in came John Updike, and he will stay. And while we have a minute, we'll go ahead and run down our sponsors again. We can't thank them enough again, so we want to make sure we mention them because we truly cannot do this without them. Precious Metals and Diamond Company, Chan Soon Chong Medical Center, Best Window and Door, Blade Broadband, Rizzo's Italian Restaurant, the Fifth Bar and Grill, which is formerly the Alibi, Wayne Langerholk for Senate, Advanced Office Systems, Dean Jordan Goodyear, Ponchione Financial, Cardellino Eye Care and Optical, EcoSafe Sanitizing, Nico's Restaurant, Johnstown Construction, FWF Insurance and Erie Insurance, Pinnacle Chiropractic Spine and Sports Center, Flora Country Catering and Event Planning, Sporting Good Discounters, FX Screen Printing, DB Homes, Slovenian Savings and Loans, and Trawler Square Insurance, which is a family company with roots right here in the Laurel Highlands.
You know, I got to say, so far offensively, Richland, has done some good things. They've run a pretty base offense, to be honest with you, in terms of things that they've done. We haven't seen that diamond formation at all, where they've got 4 guys stacked up, which is something that we run out there a lot. You've seen a lot of 2 wides on both sides. Sam Penna has excellent hands and really is tough in the open field. He's run the deep pattern a couple of times. That's something new that we haven't seen. I will say that. But perhaps Coach Bailey giving future defenses some things to think about.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Trojans, and there's a flag on the play. This is probably going to be motion here on the Trojans. Yep, second illegal procedure of the night. As you said, Jim, a team that's struggling, this is just a killer. Pre-snap penalties just really tend to hurt.
You have to, they called a timeout after a kickoff, and then immediately after timeout have a procedure penalty, and it's just so difficult for a coach to try to, now you're 5 yards in the hole, and you're trying to do things incrementally here. It creates offensive challenges that are difficult to overcome.
All right, so 1st and 15 now. 10:03 remaining before halftime. Richland leading here 29-0.
Well, they're not sticking with whatever play they did have called, so the timeout, so that penalty cost them 5 yards and a timeout.
All right, so John Updike in the gun. Updike will go back to throw, and another flag on the play, I believe. Whistle blew.
I'm guessing the left end move, the wide receiver on the far side jumped out too soon.
So another pre-snap penalty here on the Trojans, going to make it 1st and 20 now. And they already trail 29-0, Jim. This is certainly not what you want.
Well, this is where Richland now, the challenge for Coach Bailey is stay focused, have good habits. Don't get sloppy. You've got a 20-yard cushion here. If you're a defensive person, don't get outside your lane. Hold lane discipline. If you're a defensive back, you've got to treat this like it's 2nd and 7 and you're playing Bedford.
All right, Updike will drop back to pass. He fakes the handoff, rolls out to his right. Updike being chased. Updike going to keep him himself. Brought down from behind from Aiden Thomas, along with, I think that's Graydon Lewis in on the stop.
Well, I'll tell you, Updike came rolling around that right side and thought he could juke Kellen Stahl, and he did not know that Mr. Thomas had a surprise for him from behind.
Ball taken out to the 30-yard line. So they get almost back to the original line of scrimmage. Pretty good gain there, about 19 yards.
Well, you can certainly see why he's their leading rusher. When you drop back the pass like that, you wait for it. If you can beat that first pass rush, there's going to be some space there, and certainly he makes some things happen.
All right. And Cobalt will check back into the game. I think Updike may have been a little shaken up on the play as he heads to the sideline.
They're going to run into a delay game problem here. They substituted some plays in. Oh, they restarted that clock. It was down.
So Simeon Cobalt now.
All right. Now they're going to run him off the field. That's an illegal side. You can't do that.
Another timeout. Another timeout called by Johnstown.
And a good timeout because that was about to be a penalty.
Yeah.
That actually wasn't a rule that too terribly long ago, and it became a very in vogue thing to kind of do. You'd have an extra guy in the huddle, and he'd start to break for the sideline, and the defender would go over, and then the guy would simply step off the field, and your defensive back didn't know who he was supposed to cover. That, in all honesty, probably should have been a penalty at that point. The Johnstown coaching staff caught it, called the timeout. That's probably a pretty good investment of a timeout.
Richland leading here 29-0, 9:27 remaining before halftime.
PJ, I'm wondering if you've noticed the change in the overall level of excitement of play for the Rams, both on the field and on the sideline, since Coach Bailey's tactical speech with that first timeout.
Well, it's with his headset on. So on the sidelines, I think they're up. They're happy for the team whenever they're doing what they're doing. But on the level of field after that play, whenever Coach Bailey got inside and tore them around a little bit, it definitely proved positive, and it got the excitement up on the field. So Richland's here to play, and I think they're gonna keep challenging this team more and more the rest of the game.
All right, Cobalt back into quarterback now. Cobalt getting some pressure. It's Aiden Thomas. who is going to make the sack all the way back to the 17-yard line. And Aiden Thomas is just, I think, the last 3 games, Jim, has been extremely noticeable. Aiden Thomas able to impose his will now on opposing offenses. And Simeon Cobalt now shaken up. They lost John Updike a couple plays ago, who had to come off as he was shaken up. And who was the tackle made by there was Aiden Thomas as well. So
he and you're right. He certainly has made his presence felt. And Cobalt looks like they're nursing a leg. We won't really speculate on the injury of that right now. But I will tell you, Johnstown had a stack on that right side. They were, I would suspect that they're going to give that quarterback 2 options. One of them would certainly break and probably be somewhere towards the middle of the field. The other one running a deep pattern. There was good coverage by Richland on both those receivers. The problem was, though, if it was going to develop long, there was no time for Cobalt to allow it to develop long. Aiden Thomas was on him quick. So Cobalt's up, and that's a good sign for him. He's going to have to come off for a play.
Yeah, walking off on his own power, so good to see. And we'll see if John Updike was ready to come back, as he was shaken up a couple plays earlier. That's going to bring up 3rd and 23, though, as the ball all the way back to the Johnstown 18-yard line. This drive started at the Johnstown 31-yard line after a couple of motion penalties by Johnstown, and then one long run by Updike. Now they lose some more yards, and the ball all the way back to the Trojan 18.
Well, Ryan McGowan's got coverage on the left side, the hash. So
Updike,
Johnstown has thrown. No, they're going to roll out
Updike
left.
is back. Updike is going to roll out to his right. He's got a lot of pressure there as he tries to turn the corner. Pushed out of bounds there by number 11, Brock Batchy, after a short gain, as he crossed over the 20-yard line to about the 22.
Richland not taking the bait and rushing upfield, allowing that to, sooner or later, if you get that guy running left to right or right to left, he runs out of room. If you run by him or give him an opportunity to edge you, that's where the real problem comes in. They ran a deep pattern out there. Penna was 25 yards downfield guarding his man. Had he managed around that corner, he would have had a lot of room to go in that. So good defensive discipline by the front wall of the Richland Rams.
And the Richland Rams this time will not send a player back to receive the punt. This will probably be a quick kick. And it's blocked. The whole entire Richland front was in on that, and Richland will take over the ball at the 15-yard line of Johnstown. So they tried a quick kick, but the Rams' whole entire defensive line was already in, and no chance of Updike getting that punt away.
I don't think they blocked the kick so much as almost intercepted the drop from his hand to his foot. It looked very much like they were very close to actually getting the ball before he could kick it once he dropped it. Just a tremendous push, probably from a very pent-up defensive line that is showing good discipline, decided that this is an opportunity to go ahead and go forward.
All right, so ball spotted at the Johnstown 16-yard line, 1st and 10 Richland Rams. They lead 29-0 with 8:50 remaining before halftime. Stahl back to throw. Stahl getting some pressure from behind now. He's going to throw it away. No, did it get picked off?
No, he threw it
no,
complete
it was
that
caught.
right side.
It was caught. So I thought he was throwing it away, but ball caught there.
Imagine dumping off to Sam at the last minute. Sam with a little scramble, but so much defensive pressure had gotten to that side of the field, it's actually a loss on the play.
Ball will be spotted at about the, looks like the 19-yard line. Loss to 3. And Griffin LaRue will be in the backfield along with Graydon Lewis on each side of Stahl. Stahl drops back to throw. Stahl looks left and just off the hands of number 2, Graydon Lewis. That'll bring up 3rd down.
That one came in a little high and hot. Certainly it's a catch you want Graydon to be able to make, but a little more lead on that or a little more air. There was no defender near, so it didn't quite need to be quite as hot as it was, but that's another problem. Graydon's body angle was such that it was sort of an awkward lean back. So it's amazing, the difference it makes to have the shoulders of the feet be in the right place, and I'm sure that'll be part of the film study for the Rams following this game.
All right, Evan McCracken will check in and replace Graydon Lewis. We have a stack with Jeb Jordan and Ryan McGowan on the left, and a stack with Griff LaRue on the right side. Pass behind the line of scrimmage to Ryan McGowan, who is brought down quickly by number 5, Ijon Tysinger.
Well, and that's the blessing and the curse of what Johnstown does defensively with the constant man coverage. If you get that first step, if you can shake him, you're going to have all kind of room. But he's going to be very tight to you because he's not reading. There's no other read. He's just going where you are.
Right. So Richland, after taking over the ball at the Johnstown 16-yard line, find themselves 4th and 20 from the Johnstown 26-yard line.
I'd go back to McGowan, but I'd give him a fake and let him go deep left side.
All right, Stahl going to roll out to his right. Stahl looking. Stahl has to come back to the left. Stahl going to tuck it. Looks again. Throws. Has a man. That is Ryan McGowan. Ryan McGowan pushed out of bounds. He should have enough for the first down. PJ, you are right there. That should be a first down. Richland ball in at about the 5-yard line.
First down, guys.
A first down and goal. So nice job by Kellen Stahl. Rolls out to his right. Gets a little pressure. Goes back to his left. And finds Ryan McGowan, who did a nice job. Nice catch.
I don't think it was the pressure. I think it was the fact that I told him he needs to go left side deep to Ryan McGowan. I think that worked out exactly as he said it was going to work out, I think.
So everybody's listening to you, Jim. This is fantastic.
They're so tapped into this online broadcast. It's really helping the coaching staff, I think.
Must be in their helmets. All right, so first and goal from the 5 for the Rams. They lead here 29-0, 6:45 and counting before halftime. Stahl going to hand off to Evan McCracken, who makes a sidestep and gets into the end zone for another Richland Ram touchdown.
You know, I know it's not by design, but it seems most of Evan McCracken's runs, he runs until he hits the defender and then goes somewhere else. Yep. He hits his initial contact at the line of scrimmage with such strength that nobody manages to wrap him up, and then he explodes off from that. That looked to be unchallenged, that run.
All right, Autumn Fauci on to attempt her 4th extra point of the night. She is 3 for 3 so far. Sprinkled in there with a Bubba J 2-point conversion. And the kick is up, and that is going to be good. So perfect night for Autumn Fauci, 4 for 4, 6:35 remaining before halftime, and we find ourselves at 36-0.
You're tempted. You know, whenever you're watching a football game, you tend to pay attention to touchdowns and sacks, interceptions, that sort of thing. And certainly Ryan had a great catch on that ball because it was a difficult throw. Certainly a good job by Kellen to first tuck it, as you said, and then he managed to get the ball back in the passing hand and let her rip. But the impressive part that'll happen whenever they do film study is that play was designed to roll to the other side. Despite my joking aside, Ryan McGowan stayed engaged in the play and continued to try to find open space even when it didn't look like the ball was going to go to his side, which is what made him available for Kellen Stahl at the end of that play, which is the kind of things we're talking about in terms of having good habits. Ryan McGowan, even if that pass doesn't go to his left side, that defender has to frantically try to keep covering Ryan McGowan, and that keeps him from going someplace else to help with a tackle once it's made. But his engagement in the play, even when the ball didn't appear to be going to that side, is what made that play possible, and it's a good sign in terms of the renewed concentration from the Rams. Let's go with renewed concentration for the Rams.
I like that.
After that first pep talk from Coach Bailey.
All right, so Cullen O'Dowd on now to kick it away for the Rams. And the kick is up, and right about the 20-yard line again. The Kobe Christian will take it for the Johnstown Trojans as he goes over the left side and gets to about close to the 35-yard line. I had the pleasure of coaching Kobe in baseball at Arbutus, so really nice young man. Ball spotted at about the 34-yard line for the Trojans. They take over 1st and 10, 6:27 remaining before halftime, trailing here 36-0 to Richland.
Well, I tell you, if you're Johnstown, you certainly want to get a score, but you want to make some good things happen right now. These guys are practicing, they're working. You want to see the fruit of the labor. You've had 2 drives that actually went backwards. I'm not sure what their total offensive yards are on the night, but they're close to a net zero.
All right, Updike will keep it himself. Now he pitches it out to the left now, and a throwback. Sam Penna picks it off. Sam Penna has the ball moving towards the 20-yard line before he's brought down. Nice play by Sam Penna as Updike rolled out to his right, pitched the ball, and a halfback option, but Sam Penna was right there
Well, I'll tell you, I as the guy that's been hiding Christmas presents from for 14 years, it's hard to get anything by Sam Penna. So the double pass, and that ball was thrown incredibly hard, and it was a good job. Even if Sam were the intended receiver, that's a difficult catch. A lot of crowd over there, though. I'm sure Sam would have liked to try to find some pay dirt at the end of it, but the turnover is a big thing, and that's his second interception in the last 2 games.
All right, so Stahl takes over for the Richland Rams here, 1st and 10 at the Johnstown 21-yard line. Richland already leads 36-0. Graydon Lewis to the right. Graydon Lewis will take it. He will go over the right side. Big hole there as he pushes inside the 5-yard line.
That ball's loose.
And the ball popped out. I think they're calling it down. The referee's already pointing to the ground. So Graydon Lewis takes it hard and gets inside the 5.
Real quick shout out. Lonnie Maldette played for Christianity back in 1986, 87. Checking in from Gulf Shores, Alabama. We were sorry to see the Maldette family away, but happy you're still watching. And also Brian Tustin, Doug Horn, the regular crew.
There you go.
So thanks for watching, guys. Maybe we'll see a few of you later on tonight.
Yeah, Lonnie, missed you in the neighborhood, man.
This is the difficult thing. You're talking about
Don
Maldette.
Don Maldette. What a loss he would have been on this team.
Oh, I know. All right, so 1st and goal from the 3 upcoming for the Rams. Stahl rolls out to his right. Stahl pumps, comes back to the left. Stahl has the man wide open.
Oh.
And that's Ryan McGowan able to make the catch.
They're going to call it.
So it is a Richland Ram touchdown. Stahl came back. Ryan McGowan was wide open.
The defender that peeled off, I think, actually tipped that ball a little bit. It would have been an easy score. He got enough of the ball. I think he tipped enough of it that it made it a difficult catch. Ryan had to put the brakes on and lean forward. PJ, do I have that right, or did the ball just slip out of Stahl's hands? It looked like a mild tip off the throw.
No, I think it was a little tip. He tried to finesse that in, so Ryan was cutting back across, saw that Kellen was rolling back to his side. Same thing had happened on that first down play, and able to bring it in. So good concentration on all of them.
All right, Autumn Facci on now. And the kick is up, and Autumn Facci is true again. Perfect on a night, 5 for 5 for Autumn Facci, as the Richland Rams find themselves leading here now 43-0. We still have 5:38 remaining before halftime. So as Richland came out in this game, Jim, they were a little flat. They were up 7-0. Brandon Bailey calls a timeout, and ever since that moment, the Rams have just kind of poured it on here, and unfortunately for the Trojans, they just have no answer.
Well, I think what you're seeing from Richland is what we've come to expect from them at this point. And we said early in the game that when you're playing an 0-5 team, you don't want to give them anything to be excited about, because if you get midway through the third quarter and they're still in the hunt, anything can happen. And Richland has done a good job of taking that away from Johnstown. There's some flashes out there for the Trojans. I got to tell you, some of these deep balls. A half-yard shorter. If the one receiver manages to hold on, admittedly would have been a spectacular one-handed catch. They're not that far from busting off a couple of big plays, and when you're up 43-0, you want to drill down and look at the things you could have done better, and that'll be one of the things Richland will take from this, is that they were close to letting a couple get through on that.
All right, so Colin O'Dowd on to kick it away for the Rams, and this will go to Britt on the left side. Britt will take it to about the 30-yard line. So Taekwon Britt's had a busy day.
Hey, little catch up here. First off, quick shout out to my sister Mary Ann. She's in from New Jersey watching the game with my mom. So Mary Ann, thank my mom and Mary Ann for watching the game. Bedford, 22, Penn Cambria 13.
Ooh.
That strikes me odd.
It's a close game.
So that's at half. Penn Cambria hosting Bedford, and they're playing tough. Westmont 7, Chestnut Ridge 14, another good game. And Berlin is 6-0 over Portage. Berlin might have got a little beat up last week against Wimber. I heard that was a very mouth-pounding football game. So back to you guys.
All right, thanks for that, PJ. Yeah, close game between Penn Cambria and Bedford.
We're going to get back to the term mouth-pounding football.
All right, Updike throws a quick out to his left, and the Rams eat that up. And that's going to be a loss of yardage again. That was Damani Roebuck on the reception. DeMont Johnson and a couple other Rams in on the tackle.
I got to tell you, on that play, and Graydon Lewis did a good job on pursuit. I think he saw some generous officiating based on a 43-0 score. It looked like it looked like a defensive player in the backfield for the Rams was being held and managed to shake it off and make a tackle. And that kind of thing gets a little looser. It's not a criticism of the referees. That's the natural flow of what happens in high school football. But that snap is bobbled.
All right, and the Rams are there just shut that down quickly as the ball is brought to about the 20-yard line. So, again, Johnstown just going backwards. They had this ball starting at the 31-yard line, Jim. They're already backed up to their own 20, and it brings up third down and very, very long.
Well, we brought it up in context of the penalties that they've endured. You have it going on with that there's a low snap. The quarterback couldn't quite handle it. Probably should have caught it, but, again, it was not an ideal snap, a little lower than knee-high. If at bare minimum, even if the quarterback comes up with that, it's probably going to bust up the timing of the play. It's how critical that first movement of the football can be for an offense when you primarily run out of the shotgun.
All right, so 3rd and 21 upcoming for the Trojans. We're at 4:09 and counting, and Richland leads here 43-0. John Updike in an empty backfield takes the snap, keeps it himself, pulls it down, but the Rams are right there, and Nathan Kniss is just not letting go. And that's another loss on the play back to the 15-yard line. That's another 6-yard loss here by the Trojans. Going to bring up 4th and very, very long.
Well, Updike's at least got to sell the notion that he might throw that ball on the run. If he wants to peel off some room and slow that down a little bit, he's got to at least sell it. But he's taken that snap, and they've had such pressure up front. He's just trying to get outside, and the moment he commits, the defensive line can commit.
All right, and that's a blocked punt.
That's live.
And DeMont Johnson couldn't quite pick it up, but it doesn't matter as the Rams will have this ball 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. So another special teams win for the Rams. That's their 2nd block punt of the evening.
Well, I'm gonna, I don't want to pile on here, but in terms of defense, that's the 3rd offensive possession in a row that has netted negative yards by more than 10. And the 2nd in a row that even the punt ended up a negative yard situation. So a big demonstration here for Richland doing what they're supposed to do against the team that they're supposed to beat.
All right, 3:18 remaining before halftime. Richland leading 43-0. They have the ball 1st and goal from the 9.
Now here's the challenge for Coach Bailey. It's easy to get caught up in this scoreboard right now and think that you can do your way and maybe ease up a little bit. You want the guys to continue to treat this as if it's a 6-0 ball game, because they're going to have 6-0 ball games that they need to focus on that way.
All right, so Stahl, empty backfield. LaRue will go in motion to the right. They'll fake the pitch to LaRue, and Stahl will just keep it, and he walks into the end zone untouched from 9 yards. Another Richland Ram touchdown. Kellen Stahl, 9-yard TD run.
And there's the poison, as I said, with this constant man coverage. PJ, you're right on top of it. Sam sort of blocked this guy, but really all he did do was sell that he was going to run a route, and then he was between the defender and Kellen. There was no way that guy could then attack Kellen Stahl at that point. He had to focus on Sam. It was one of the easier blocks.
Richland pulls everybody away from that middle in that play set. I mean, everybody was running away from the middle except for Kellen, and he walked right in. So great design and well executed.
All right, Autumn Facci on now to attempt the extra point again. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Autumn Facci, 6 for 6 on the night. That's a great sign for the Rams going forward. They lead here now 50-0, and we still have 3:13 remaining before halftime.
I gave this big speech at the beginning of the game about not falling for the trap of the law of transitive properties and saying just because we beat Cambria Heights by 30-something and Cambria Heights beat Johnstown by 30-something, we shouldn't expect that we could win by 70. But they're certainly on pace for a very lopsided scoreboard at the end of this, even with the dogs called off and the rolling clock in the second half.
So we'll see what Richland does. They're going to put some JV people here on the kick off. It looks like Ethan Box, Jeb Jordan, number 58 for the Rams. I'm just drawing a blank. That's right. Andrew Rolls.
Well, and I should say Ethan Box. It's a good example of the depth of this team. I got to tell you, on a lot of teams that we've played, Ethan Box might be their number one receiver. Yep. He's big, he's strong, he runs like a deer, and he'll catch a ball that's thrown to him, and he does not see a ton of playing time. You'll see him out there sporadically with the first team, but he's certainly a guy that for a lot of teams in the area would be their one.
All right, Cohen O'Dowd on to kick it away again. And it is Britt again there on the left side of the field. And Britt, as he crosses the 35, just got plotted. I think the ball might have come out. And I think it's going to stay in Johnstown's hands, but he took a shot.
Might have been his kidney that popped out. PJ, there's no organs on the field, right?
No, that ball did come out, but it wasn't a kidney, Jim.
Oh, my goodness. So ball spotted at the 35-yard line, 1st and 10 for Johnstown. They trail here 50-0 with still 3:05 remaining before halftime.
All right, I'm going to give you a little cover head because you're going to be a little numerically challenged. We are seeing some subs coming in and out here a little bit, so as we familiarize ourselves with numbers that might be on the field.
Yeah, Johnstown's numbers are a little difficult to read tonight. They have the black uniforms with the light blue numbers and the white trim, but pretty difficult to see from up here. Thank God that Richland players have easy numbers to read tonight with their white shirts, blue numbers. And I think somebody's going to call a timeout here, and that will be Johnstown's final timeout. While we have that, we'll go ahead and run down our sponsors list again, as, again, we cannot thank them enough. Hope to keep the sponsorships coming. If you want to get involved, please get a hold of PJ McGowan. He'll tell you all that you need to know. So we thank Precious Metals and Diamond Company, Chan Soon Shong Medical Center, Best Window and Door, Blade Broadband, Rizzo's Italian Restaurant, the Fifth Bar and Grill, which is formerly the Alibi, Wayne Langerhoek for Senate, Advanced Office Systems, Dean Jordan Goodyear, Poncione Financial, Cardellino Eye Care and Optical, EcoSafe Sanitizing, Nico's Restaurant, Johnstown Construction, FWF Insurance and Erie Insurance, Pinnacle Chiropractic Spine and Sports Center, Flair Country Catering and Event Planning, Sporting Goods Discounters, FX Screen Printing, DB Homes, Slovenian Savings and Loan, and Troller Square Insurance, which is a family company with roots right here in the Laurel Highlands.
Well, and they actually contacted us today. Troller Square did insurance and said, "How do I become a part of Richland football?" And we put them in touch with PJ, and here they are.
All right, so 1st and 10 upcoming for the Trojans. It will be a handoff off to the right side. That's going to lose yards again, Jim, as they try to stretch that play out to the left side, and
I'm not tracking it, but I'm going to tell you, in my mind, that's like 7 or 8 consecutive offensive plays that have netted negative yardage for Johnstown at this point.
So a couple more shout-outs, guys. So my sister Denise McGowan in Savannah and Kip watching from North Allegheny, other side of Pittsburgh.
Home of the Gators.
John Reckner laying at home right now on his couch. I can picture him with a toothpick and a smoking jacket on. In Oldstream, Rusty Felt, and a bunch of others. Back to the.
All right, Updike back to throw, getting some pressure from Zach Hancock. Has a man, though. Ball is caught over the 30-yard line.
Well, I'm glad you're giving John Reckner a shout-out. I had the great honor of coaching John's son in baseball the last couple of years.
I had Carson back in Arbutus.
Guys,
yes.
the Reckner boys could be two of the funniest guys I've ever met.
Yep, they are.
But they're the connoisseurs of fine rolled toothpicks, I'll tell you that. They really are. I've never seen one of them without one.
All right, 3rd and 14 upcoming for the Trojans. Another low snap. Updike going to pick it, going to throw it long. Griffin Little in coverage, and nice job by Griff. Ball went over his hands, but was able to keep an eye on the receiver. Knocks the ball away. And again, like you said, Jim, again, that's a couple inches from being completed pass and a long pass.
It was. And I will tell you, the incomplete pass downfield actually has, being a net zero, is the best offensive play they've had in the last 10 in terms of what yardage that they've gone. I'm going to get back to John Reckner in a moment. I know John's anxiously waiting to hear whatever it is I'm going to say.
I'm sure he is. 4th and 14 upcoming for the Trojans. They trail 50-0.
At one point, if you're Johnstown, don't you at least attempt the fake punt?
All right, and it's just going to be no. He gets Updike able to get away. Ball stripped. That was Connor Rager strips the ball away as Updike. I think if he gets through there, actually had some room, but Connor Rager able to drag him down. Almost got a fumble, but at any route, it's Richland's ball.
2 or 3 yard loss on the play, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Let me real quickly on John Reckner. Not only did I coach Carson, but John was one of the coaches with me on staff at the Highland Pony League this year, where Carson and Sam and a few other Richland boys managed to peel off an undefeated season at Highland, winning back-to-back championship there. So hats off to our Earth Tech baseball team and Coach Reckner sitting back and enjoying it.
All right, handoff this time. That's Graydon Lewis. Graydon Lewis is going to drag back from behind. That's going to be another horse collar. A long run there by Graydon Lewis as he gets inside the 5-yard line, brought down by a horse collar. getting back to that, I'm going to have the pleasure again of coaching Carson this coming year as Carson moves up to the Colt League, and for Belmont United Methodist. So we're gonna welcome the Reckoners. I look forward to it so much, as I really enjoyed them when Carson was a little bit younger, and look forward to a baseball season and beating up on your whatever team you guys are on. This season.
Well, I'm staying down in Pony with my youngest. Sam's moving up, and a few others are up there. And Carson swings that bat like an angry trucker, man. When he decides to let it rip, he does. So.
All right, so first and goal upcoming for the Rams. Ball is going to be spotted at the 2-yard line. Empty backfield as Stahl steps in at the gun. Bunch receivers to the right, and LaRue goes in motion to the right. Flipped out to LaRue. LaRue cuts it back. Dives for the end zone. It'll be short at about the 1, but there is a flag on the play.
Almost has to be a hold, right, from that spot?
I would think so. It is a hold on Richland.
We're going to say PJ did the holding. PJ, we're doing all this reminiscing about baseball. You mentioned Brian Tustin. I'm going to show my age. I coached Brian Tustin in Pony League baseball at Highland too.
I don't know. You want to brag about that, Jim?
I played softball with Brian Tustin for a long, long time.
Well, I bring it up because that was another undefeated team at Highland. Brian's team was. He was actually a pretty good baseball player.
Brian's a good athlete.
I mean, absolutely.
Incredibly strong guy. He lifts weights daily. Sometimes 16 ounces.
I'm going to guess he was faster then than he is now. I can promise you that.
So a great friend of mine. I miss him. I wish I'd see him more.
All right, so ball all the way back to the Johnstown 13-yard line. Still first and goal for the Rams. Stahl tries to find LaRue on a quick slant, and ball a little low. That'll bring up second down.
Usually when you see a pass like that come out of Kellen's hand, he didn't get a clean grip off the snap. I don't think that was a bad snap. He didn't get a tight grip on the ball. If you're going to throw that pass and have it not be on the mark, you prefer it bounce than go high, because anything can happen once it's ricocheted high. But typically, when you see a ball come out of his grip that way, he never quite got the clean hold on the ball.
All right, pistol formation here for the Rams. Graydon Lewis will be the running back. 2 wide receivers to the left. It's LaRue and McGowan. It'll be a handoff to Graydon Lewis. Graydon Lewis just going to go over left tackle and walk into the end zone. Graydon Lewis's 3rd rushing touchdown of the night. And untouched him from 13 yards out as he just went over the left side and just walked right into the end zone.
It would appear the only way you can keep Graydon Lewis from scoring from 50 yards is to give Richland the ball at the 13-yard line.
Yeah, that's about it, because there was nobody around. Autumn Facci on now to attempt her 6th extra point of the evening. Richland leads here 56-0. And the kick is up, and the kick is going to be good again. So Autumn Facci perfect on the evening. 57-0 here from Trojan Stadium with 50 seconds still left before halftime. We will have a running clock here in the second half.
I'm going to give it's not a shot. I'm going to give credit to the Johnstown High cheerleaders. They have not lost any of their enthusiasm from the start of this game. They have been vocal and active and doing what they can for the Trojan sideline. So hats off to the lady cheerleaders over for Johnstown High.
Jim, I know there's going to be a running clock, and maybe you're a little more up on the football rules, PIAA, but do they ever skip a certain quarter?
Well, they don't skip a quarter, but I will tell you there was a game earlier in the year where Johnstown High decided to end the game early and did not play the entire game. I don't know if that was injury related. They do have some bodies on the sideline, certainly not the field out there, but that's not something I'm looking forward to. PJ, I know when we were at Cambria Heights and we got to a certain point, you were anxious to go because you were getting early to go hunting, but that's not the case. You've done your deed.
I've harvested.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
There's food on the table again.
Yeah. So congratulations, PJ.
PJ's really big. He likes to get up early and go hunting, and he likes to get up early on Black Friday for all your jewelry needs. Right, PJ?
That's true. Jim, nice play, nice plug. I'll give bucks whenever I drop you off tonight. All right.
That'll work out.
Declan Piscatella.
Jim, you'd report that $10.
I would.
Okay.
All right, Declan on Piscatella on to kick it away for the Richland Rams. Left-footed kicker. He kicks this one high, Nice kick. Picked up about the 20 by Kobe Christian as he pushes his way close to the 30, 35-yard line. Good running by Kobe Christian as he gets the ball to about the Johnstown 35. 41 seconds remaining before halftime. 57-0 your score here. Richland leads.
You know, when you get to a game like this with this kind of score, you scramble for things to say, and it's just part of the overwhelming part of what's going on here right now. Is this ball's marked what the
about 35.
That's the deepest penetration Johnstown's had in the last quarter and a half.
That's right. I think they crossed midfield once in this game, and that was early on in the first quarter, and they have not come close since. And you're right, Jim, and they've gone backwards, multitude of times. And their best weapon so far has been John Updike on a couple of runs.
I see down on the sideline the videographer for WJC, Steve Toma, an old friend of mine.
I've been talking to Steve a good bit because he's asking me, how do you think I should have to put these highlights together?
All right, Updike will keep it himself as he crosses the 40-yard line.
Steve was my wingman when I worked Channel 8, PJ. He was also the best man at Elizabeth and I's wedding.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. I know Steve and Chrissy real well, good friends of mine.
You know the game is lopsided when you're talking about your best man from a wedding that took place 17 years ago.
We're talking about weddings. My wife and my 23rd anniversary is this coming Sunday, so I know she's not listening, but maybe her parents are. So, Jules, love you, and 23 years, can't believe it. All right, back to throw is Updike off the fingertips of the intended receiver. That's number 5, Ajon Tysinger.
Well, Richland's changed up their defense a little bit. You got a two deep. You had McGowan on the left back hash and Penn on the right back hash, and Bailey really just back there to defend against the deep pass. They're going to give Richland a little room and see if Johnstown wants to challenge that defensive line to throw something in. Richland in that last possession was just going to try to contain the deep ball. Now they're back up on the line of scrimmage.
All right. 3rd and 5 from the 35-yard line. Keeper by Updike as he pushes close to the 40-yard line. And it's ball be spotted at about the 42.
So talking about quarterbacks, father Jerry Updike is a good friend of mine. We do a lot of business together. He was quite concerned with his son quarterbacking this game against the Richland line. And I saw that when he got it was a little tired to get up there after a play or two. So that's coming. His threat worries were coming to real life here. So it's nice to see him at least walk off the field here at half.
All right, so we are at halftime here. Richland leading 57-0. And what more can we say, Jim? So far, Richland just putting on a display. After a little sluggish start, big timeout call by Brandon Bailey, kind of get the troops rallied, and they have answered in kind. And unfortunately for Johnstown, just no answers. And they're going to start off with a running clock here in the second half.
Well, every football program in the area has, there's ups and downs over the course of the lifetime of a program. And, some years you have better athletes than others. But then every so often you hit that stretch where you have that really rough season and you want something positive pouring out of it. And that'll be the challenge for Johnstown in this second half. You don't come out with a rolling clock down by 57 and reasonably expect that you're going to win a football game. You do come out and say, okay, it's 1st and 10, let's get a first down.
Right.
Let's not have 3 unforced motion penalties. Let's not fumble the snap. Let's not burn a timeout only to have our wide receiver jump off sides when we go in motion. Can we play a clean second half against a very good football team? That's what Johnstown has here right now. They've got an opportunity to become a better football team in the second half against a very good football team, and that's what their coach is going to be telling them at halftime, to not give up on themselves and to try to figure out a way to execute the playbook that they have, do a couple things well, move forward with the ball, and then take their chances from there.
They will be playing against, I'm sure, as Brandon Bailey will not start any of the starters as we head to the second half, so Johnstown will be able to run some plays against the JV team of Richland, who will get some very good experience, by the way. It's a good thing for the Rams. They'll start, those JV kids will get basically a half of varsity football, which is just fantastic, and hope they can hold their own and make some plays by themselves.
Trojan band getting ready to take the field here, and it takes you back to Johnstown High was competing in the Whippeal and in a very strong football program. Even to watch the Trojan band take the field was intimidating. The drum line that they were able to put out there and the performance that you would have from them. So long-standing tradition for Johnstown School District, something they should be very proud of. Their marching band as well, and these young people certainly put their hearts into their efforts as well. And it appears a little bit more of an elaborate setup for a halftime show than what we see typically.
Yeah, and we're going to step away and enjoy the show ourselves. So we'll be back with you shortly as we get you ready for the second half, as you are listening to the Richland Ram Football Network. We are back here as we're getting ready to start the second half. Richland leading 57-0, and we have a couple really cool shout-outs. I think this is really, really neat. Kellen Stahl's cousin, Adeline Mishler, was just crowned Penn State's homecoming queen
She
tonight.
won homecoming.
So gotta say congratulations. That's just fantastic.
That's huge.
So congratulations, Adeline Mishler, Penn State's new homecoming queen. And to the Zukases, the Gibfrieds, the Sestricks, and the Yosts, who right now are camping in Bedford, have a nice raging fire going on and some nice adult beverages. They're watching the game and listening, and we can't thank them enough for hanging in there and watching this, as hopefully they're enjoying themselves. It's a great game here as Richland is just pouring it on here at Johnstown.
Also, one of the big men, Darden Horsley's grandparents, listening in Athens, Georgia. So shout out to we call him the Horse, and they're almost always tuned in Athens, Georgia. What's shaking down there, PJ?
Well, I had a little reach out from Steve and Missy Zukas too, so I'm glad you guys are having fun down in Bedford and still part of Ram Country. Brian Brett, good buddy Spongy, played with us. Good luck tomorrow, Connor. The Richland fourth grade team's going up against Somerset. They're 4-0 right now, so Connor, bring home a big win tomorrow or this weekend with the Richland Rockets. So Sponge, part of this Richland football program for many years, and looks like Connor's going to be a big part in the future too. So good luck, guys.
Yeah, the whole Rocket program. We got to get them woven into this broadcast at one point.
We've all lived through the Rocket program. A lot of actually all these kids. I mean, I've known them since they were young, and Tony and this whole junior class now coming up together, starting in first grade, and just amazing to see how they grow, Jim. And unfortunately, it just goes by way too quick. Here we are, and for Tony and in the junior class, one more year to go, and that's it in their Ram career. So. Just goes way too fast.
It's an odd dynamic. I'm sure every senior parent would agree with you sitting in the stands here tonight, but by the same token, they're looking for this second half to fly by fast so they can get to the warmth of their car. Interesting to me what would be the halftime speeches for both these coaches. I think we've covered the ground on what Johnstown will do, so let's come out, let's get some positives, let's learn from this, and so we have something to build on. Richland, you don't want to get anybody hurt. You want to play sloppy. You want to, not only you want to respect your opponent, you want to respect the game. So you want to play it the way that you play it, and not have the self-inflicted wounds, not be sloppy, and not dismiss the idea that you blew a block or blew an assignment simply because you're up 57-0 at the half. Yep,
and Richland and I already see on the sideline going to be the JVs are going to be coming in to start the second half. And another shout out I just got. Griffin LaRue's mom, Erica, and his auntie, Kristen Neal, are out watching on the deck and enjoying the game. And so glad to have you guys with us as usual.
PJ, you got any more news on that Bedford game in Penn Cambria?
Just looked, yeah. The tides have changed a little bit. For 43 and Cambria 25 in the third. So
more what we would expect.
Yeah.
What about an update on John Reckner? How's he doing back?
John Reckner,
How many
he
toothpicks
shifted
are we
his
through
weight
now?
to the other side of the couch, I believe. I think one flannel plant leg up, one down right now, one sock halfway up. But that's also because he's superstitious. Chestnut Ridge 27, Westmont 7, Berlin is 20, Portage 0 in the third. And really that's about it. I don't know if Fred Yanity is still listening or if he's asleep.
Fred's probably he's probably asleep by now.
I don't see any scores for his alma mater right now. But
You mentioned Berlin.
You sure they still play football?
yeah, I think. I don't know. What's that, Jim?
I said you mentioned Berlin, and I just since we have them, I'm going to bring up the point, and I wasn't aware. They run a co-op with Rockwood. The players from Rockwood are part of the Berlin football program, which is great. Ferndale and Conemaugh Valley are doing that this year. But they only have to count half the male student body. Berlin, if they counted the full student body of all the players that would be available to them, would be a AAA school.
Oh, yeah.
And it creates it's an interesting question. You want everybody to have the opportunity to play, and if your school can't continue a program, but it creates a numbers game, and certainly Berlin earning their stripes down there, and the Rockwood part of it all for them.
Well, I think you're gonna see a whole lot of Richland Ram football players getting in the second half here. So I see Aiden Thomas, one of our stud linemen, walking down with looks like some sort of hat on.
All right, Piscatella on a kick away for the
comfortable.
Rams. Ball bounces, picked up by Kobe
fishing hat.
Christian as he steps over the 30 and gets over the 35 to about the 38-yard line. So Kobe Christian having a pretty good game for the Trojans on special teams. A couple of nice returns so far.
PJ, I think you and I are just going to sit back and watch Ed try to scramble and cover all these numbers that are coming on and off the field right now.
This is going to be interesting. You guys got to help me. Jim, you got your
the binoculars.
So shout them out whenever
Just
you
like
know.
Christmas vacation. If I were you, I'd check every one of those lights. If you need help, let me know. I'll be sleeping.
All right, so 1st and 10 for the Trojans, trying to catch the number of the quarterback here. Catch a number here.
Well, I will say defensively, Sam Penn is now back as the deep safety. Kellen Stahl out of the game, and Sam will be looking to attempt to guard against the long pass.
Right, handoff over here to the short side of the field to the right, and that is number 11, Taekwon Britt, who gets taken down.
Well, we're waiting to see if they move that stick at all. It looks like no gain, so at least not a negative gain for Johnstown. So they're going to look out and try to do what they do and try to make something good happen.
It's like number 6, DeAndre Sampson in at quarterback here for the Trojans.
You know, the thing about this, guys, is you're thinking that this isn't your starting offensive line, but there's many kids that play a lot of defense on that field right now for Richland.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of experience out there.
All right, Sampson back to throw. Sampson going to throw a quick pass out to his left, incomplete. Intended receiver was number 7, Damani Roebuck. To bring up 3rd and 10.
So Sampson's a lefty.
Sampson's a lefty, yes.
Facing a 3rd and 10 here right now, and
looks like on the line for the Rams, number 77, Zach Hancock, number 78, Jalen Triplin. And I'm trying to catch your number. If that's 53, is that Declan Piscatella? Sampson in the gun. Sampson will hand off to the left side. And that's going to lose yards on that too, Jim. That was Damani Roebuck as the Richland Ram defense.
He had to
did
give
a really
ground
nice job.
as soon as he got the handoff on that round sweep. He had to give ground right away. He was already at a negative 3 yards almost as soon as he right after the handoff. He had to go back and then just simply ran out of bounds. So again, probably up to 5 consecutive offensive drives that have netted negative yards.
All right, Fred Yemi just said Homer City, who is 3-1, is playing Purchase Line tonight. And he said, I'm sure that's a win. And he is still awake. So, all right, Freddie. All right. Sampson back to throw. Is going to get taken down. Zach Hancock along with number 53, Declan Piscatella. So another big loss for the Trojans. We're at 9:07 and counting here in the third quarter. Running clock situation as Richland leads 57-0. Nice job by the Richland Rams on defense. And as we say, this will bring up 4th and forever.
Well, it looks like Sam is in the quarterback for the time being. Sam Penna.
I thought it was 4th down. It's 1st down.
It's first down. It was 4th down for them.
There you go. See, I'm
first
talking
down, Richland.
so much I lost my way. That's going to be Xavier Manahan on the carry as Manahan takes it over the 20-yard line.
So, you've got these guys getting snaps in there, but they're not going to go out there and simply say, okay, we're up by 57. These guys are excited to be out on the varsity field. They want to run the offense. They know somebody's looking all the time, and they want to show and they want to execute.
All right. 2nd and 7 for the Rams. Penna will hand this off to Manahan again. Manahan will try the left side of the line as he pushes his way to about the 17-yard line. We'll see where they spot this.
As we've already mentioned, it'll be a rolling clock here in the second half. PIAA rule, 35-point margin is rolling, cannot return to a non-rolling clock, and it'll only stop for a change of possession and penalties, I believe.
Ball spotted at the 17-yard line. Third down for the Rams. Pistol formation now. Manahan in the backfield with Penna. And fake handoff. Roll out to the right by Penna. Penna going to throw. Has a man. That's DeMont Johnson. DeMont Johnson dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Richland Rams. Penna to DeMont Johnson from 17 yards away. When Sam first rolled out, Jim, I know he had so much green space. I thought actually Sam was just going to run it.
Well,
DeMont Johnson.
I got to be honest, as his dad, and we're heading to the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, don't run that. You don't need to look for somebody. I will say this, since the and is that Jaden Kinsey?
Jaden Kinsey's going to come in to attempt the extra point. No, he's going to be a 2-point conversion. So Jaden Kinsey will set to the left side of Penna.
He converted this on senior night. Let's see if he actually gets the ball.
Penna will hand off. Jaden Kinsey goes over the right tackle. Kinsey pushes towards the goal line, and it's going to be just short. So 2-point conversion fails, but Richland adds some more points. 63-0 now here from Trojan Stadium. 7:16 remaining in the third quarter.
It's safe to say that most competitive athletes, they tend to adopt little superstitions, or if nothing else, rituals, forces of habit here. Sam now with a hand in another touchdown. He's either scored or thrown a touchdown or had a pick six in 4 consecutive games. And one of the many that he has is he forces his grandmother to come to the house to make him tuna noodle casserole on Fridays. So it looks like Bubba's got to come back next Friday, PJ. And I've got to go buy warm Kraft macaroni and cheese, cream of mushroom soup, and tuna, which, by the way, are the secret ingredients.
What time's that casserole come out of the oven?
It's a stovetop blend, and it'll be on when the boys get done at 11. It's usually done by 11:30.
I'm a big fan of tuna noodle.
Well, we maybe team meal one night. Maybe one Thursday, Bubba will make a giant vat of tuna noodle for the entire Ram Nation. I can't imagine the size of the spoon you'd need for that. That is Sam's, by the way. That's his 3rd touchdown pass of the year.
Fantastic.
And I'm not sure of his yardage totals or whatever, but the first 2 coming on the lateral pass, the trick plays. This the more traditional Richland rollout, and he's going to be pretty happy about getting that one from the QB spot.
I see Ethan Janidlo warming up on his sidelines for the Rams. Maybe the next Richland quarterback entering the game.
PJ, I'm going to take you to the sort of the Wayback Machine. We've talked about these young guns, and they're also young and hungry. But there was a point in the opening of the year last year in the JV game, the quarterback had gotten hurt, and the game hadn't gone well. And Sam came in at quarterback, and he provides his own spark, but the entire team seemed to rally in the moment, and a dramatic finish to a win over the McCourt team. And all these young players just seem to have never looked back from that moment, sort of a spirit.
That was a great game. I'll never forget it.
All right, Jaden Kinsey on to kick it away. Ball fielded by the Trojans and taken close to midfield. So good return there by the Trojans. Looks like that was number... Boy, I really can't see that. Is that 25?
You can make one up if you want.
We don't have a 25,
No.
so I'm going to have to make one up. I'm not sure who that was.
All right, so they got the ball at the 49. A yard and a half gain will get them past the 50 for the first time since early in the first quarter.
Yeah. So ball at the 49-yard line. 7 minutes and counting here in the third quarter. Richland leading 63-0.
And if memory serves me correctly, they crossed the midfield because of a defensive penalty.
Yeah. All right, DeAndre Sampson in a quarterback. Roebuck in the backfield with him. Sampson going to roll out to his right. Sampson able to juke and take his way into Richland territory at about the 38-yard line.
Well, I'm going to try to help you out on defense here a little bit.
Oh, we have a Richland player down.
Looked like Andrew Rolls first contact. Easton Robertson also in on the tackle.
And I think, not sure if that's Andrew Rolls, maybe the injured Richland player. We'll go ahead and step aside as Richland leads here 63-0. You're listening to Richland Ram Football Network. The injured player Xavier Manahan has to be helped off the field here. Got a feel for that young man. Actually having a very good JV season. Xavier doing a very nice job and got some good playing time tonight, but has to be helped off the field. Apparent leg injury.
Well, and I'm sure he was slamming his hands in the ground. I'm sure part of that's out of pain, and nobody wants to be injured, but he's also, the opportunity to get some varsity time, and now that's removed for him.
All right, Sampson pitches out, and a halfback option play. Ball's thrown a little short, but I think the ball is going to be caught. I think that's number 3 on the reception, Quazier Stevens. So halfback option as the Monty Roebuck threw the ball a little short, but nice play made there by Quazier Stevens. That brings the ball to the Richland 11-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Trojans.
Johnstown, their first real threat to score tonight right now.
All right, Sampson rolls out to his right. Sampson, and then again another halfback option. And a nice play there at time by Easton Robertson, almost picked off. So good coverage there.
Easton's going to look at tape of that, and he's going to ask himself, why didn't I grab that? And he did. He swatted it down. That's the first priority. Make sure it doesn't get caught. But the intended receiver was fairly deep in the end zone. Easton had a chance to backpedal and catch. Now, of course, I have the luxury of saying that he doesn't know the depth. It's not the guy he's guarding. He's got to defend the ball, which he did a good job on. But so a little contact for him defensively. Something to be excited about.
5 minutes and counting remaining in the third quarter. Richland leading 63-0. Sampson back to throw. Sampson going to throw it into the end zone again. And again, nice coverage there by Richland. Easton Robertson went up for it and took a shove there, but did a nice job in coverage. Incomplete pass.
Well, the receiver had to become defender there, and he slammed Easton to the ground. Easton hopped right back up, as he's prone to do. But, PJ, I'm going to guess the ground shook a little bit there. That was a pretty good hit.
Say what?
I'm going to guess the ground shook a little bit there when he slammed Easton to the ground. It was a pretty good hit.
That was a little bit of a hit. You can see that one coming, and that might have been the best result.
All right, 3rd and 10 upcoming for the Trojans. They're at the Richland 11-yard line, and there's going to be
a timeout
called by the Trojans.
Down to 7 seconds on the play clock there, and just difficulty getting things in. So
we're going to let Jim run down the sponsors again. Again, we can't thank them enough, and there are sponsorships still available. So please get hold of PJ McGowan as we head towards the playoffs. We're going to need as many of these as we can get.
Well, that's exactly what our friends at Trawler Square Insurance did. They got a hold of PJ today. Trawler Square Insurance, family, a company with roots right here in the Laurel Highlands, even roots right here in the Laurel Highlands Conference.
Another shout out to the Richland Fire Hall, Bob Heffelfinger and the crew. We might not have their truck with us, but they are all listening at the station. So thanks for the continued support from the Richland Volunteer Fire Company.
Indeed. Let's move on with our sponsors: Slovenian Savings and Loans, DB Homes, FX Screen Printing, Sporting Good Discounters, Flair of Country Catering and Event Planning, Pinnacle Chiropractic Spine and Sports Center, FWF Insurance and Erie Insurance, Johnstown Construction, Nico's Restaurant, EcoSafe Sanitizing, Cardolino Eye Care and Optical, Ponchione Financial, Dean Jordan Goodyear, Advanced Office Systems, Wayne Langerholt for Senate, the Fifth Bar and Grill, formerly known as The Alibi, Rizzo's Italian Restaurant, Blade Broadband, Best Window and Door, Chen Sun Sung Medical Center, and Precious Metals and Diamond.
All right, so Sampson going to roll out to his left, throw to the end zone again, has a man, and I think that's going to be the ball is out, no catch. Thought that was going to be a touchdown, but the ball did come out.
He had it, and then he bobbled it, and the Richland defenders appeared to push him out. PJ, I don't know if he ultimately ended up with the ball in his hands, but I'm right in saying he ended up out of bounds by the time he caught it.
No, he dropped that ball out.
Yeah, I saw the ball hit the ground. So they'll bring up 4th and 10. And again, the Trojans with their best chance to score at the Richland 11-yard line, 3:35 and counting before the end of the third quarter. DeAndre Sampson, low snap. DeAndre Sampson has to keep it himself, and he's taken down. Ball comes loose, but Sampson able to pick it up. Zach Hancock on the sack.
I tell you, Hancock came a-flying, and I tell you, that ball went launching backwards, and for a moment it looked like it was going to roll free and would have been given any defender that could have scooped it up a lot of running room.
Oh, my gosh, that would have been a touchdown for anybody that picked it up. But At any rate, Richland's ball have it at their own 25-yard line. And we'll see and it is Ethan Janidlo now who will come in at quarterback. Easton Robertson will be the running back. It's like Dugan Chase.
You know, I like when I'm driving, I like to listen to the comedy channels on my Sirius Radio XM subscription. But when I have Hancock in the back seat riding him around, I just turn it down and listen to him. He's his own comedy show.
That's actually Josh Moore, number 89, in at wide receiver. And it's Easton Robertson who turns the corner, 35 to 40, the 45 to 50. The 45 into Johnstown territory around the 40-yard line. Nice run by Easton Robertson.
Did Connor Rager maybe it was Kellen, one of the Rams congratulated him with great verve, and it might be the hardest hit. Easton's getting banged in the end zone by Johnstown and almost knocked over by a Richland teammate at the end of that run. A congratulatory bump.
Oh, so nice run by Easton Robertson from his
Exactly the way you take out your own player.
His own 25 now at the Johnstown 42-yard line.
That
First
had
and 10 Rams.
That had the look of a Connor Rager hit. I'm not sure if it was Connor or not, but it really had the look of one.
All right, Janidlo fakes the handoff, teeps himself as he tries the right side of the line and pushes himself inside the 40.
Jim, you were talking about Hancock before as a comedy act. We call him Wreck-It Ralph in my house. Every time he's over. I mean, I love the kid. He's at my house a lot, but whether we're fishing at Indian Lake or is sitting in the garage or in the basement, he manages to break something, not intentionally, but still a good kid.
All right, 5-yard gain from Janidlo, 2nd and 5, ball at the Johnstown 37-yard line. Easton Robertson will set himself to the left of Janidlo. Janidlo going to keep himself, try left side this time. Janidlo puts his head down and gets close to the 30-yard line. They're going to spot us at about the 31.
Janidlo's no small guy.
He's a big kid, absolutely.
And I'm going to guess that linebacker feels like somebody threw a fire hydrant at him just now because the guy with the ball had the better of that one.
Dugan Chase, number 88, now checking into the game. First and 10 Rams at the Johnstown 31-yard line. Under a minute remaining here in the third quarter. Richland leading 63-0. Pistol formation. And it will be Robertson who will try the right side. This time he's dragged from behind. Nice play there by the Trojans. I think that's number 17, Kobe Christian, on the tackle.
All right, I'm going to go back and look at my original notes on the joke about transitive property because we're getting close. 72. We beat Cambria Heights by 37. They lost by 35, that would mean a 72-point margin if you just think that thing translates, which of course it doesn't in athletics, but the Rams are working hard to prove me wrong.
All right, 3-yard loss for the Rams, 2nd and 13 upcoming. Janidlo rolls out to his left. Janidlo looking for Aiden McMahon. Nice catch. Aiden McMahon goes up and gets it over 2 Johnstown defenders. That's going to be enough for a Richland first down, I believe. See where they spot this.
Hey, guys, I can't tell you how excited number 13 was to catch that ball, but every one of the city linemen and players were there to congratulate him. He'll never forget that.
Yeah, nice catch, Aiden McMahon. And it is the end of the third quarter. Richland leading here from Trojan Stadium 63-0 as you are listening to the Richland Ram Football Network. Hi, welcome back to Trojan Stadium. PJ, you were just going to be telling us a story here, so go ahead.
Well, there's 2 little kids sitting at home watching their brother play football. And my little girl, Brooklyn, 6-year-old, my little boy, Nixon, 4-year-old. One of their other idols is the big guy standing down here beside me, just had to sack Zach Hancock. He's one of my little kid's favorite play partners when he's at the house. But I wanted to say hi to my kids and staying up and allow to watch the Richland Rams. So I'll see you guys a little bit later on or tomorrow morning, kids.
That's awesome. All right, so we have first and 10 for the Rams here at the Johnstown 18-yard line. Just underway here in the fourth quarter. Pistol formation again. Ethan Robertson is the running back. Ethan Janidlo the quarterback. Janidlo hands off to Robertson, who got hit right around the head area, right around the neck area and brought down.
Well, he got spun by the first defender, but and actually probably would have broken free from there. But the second guy through managed to put a heavy hit. Ethan Robertson's taken 3 pretty good shots. Only 2 of them from Johnstown, though. One of them from the Richland sideline. So Easton's coming out now, and
Josh Moore
staying clear of Connor Rager. does not need his well wishes at this point.
Josh Moore now will step in at running back. And he'll set himself to the left of Janidlo. 2 wide receivers to the right. Janidlo hands off to Moore. Moore will try the right side. Tries to cut it back and gets taken down. Bring up third down. Ball spotted at the 19-yard line, so 3rd and 11 upcoming.
PJ, you have a better vantage point than us. Let's take a look on this this offensive play, just how the lineman that we've got out there right now, and who does a stellar job, and give them a shout out for it. As you've got a fresh shot of wide bodies in there as well, trying to do their thing.
Easton Robertson back in at running back. Right of Janidlo. Janidlo hands off to Robertson, and he is brought down quickly.
If I was running the ball right now, I'd be watching Darden Horsley for sure, and also Piscatelli. These field at will. So pay attention to the snapper and off to his left.
All right, it's going to bring up 4th and 11. Ball still at the ball at about the 21-yard line. Let's see where this is spotted. Right at the 20-yard line.
I don't have official statistics here, but I think Easton Robertson has been tackled more times than Graydon Lewis in this game.
Absolutely. All right, empty backfield here. Janidlo going to tuck it, keep it himself as he goes up the middle and pushes his way close to the 15, but that will be a turnover on downs, since that was 4th and 11. So Johnstown will take over with 9:25 remaining in the ball game. They trail here 63-0.
Well, obviously this score is going to hold up, and I think, if I've got it right in my mind, I think that sets up a home game with Northern Cambria next week.
So we'll be looking forward to going back home to Hurlinger Field. Should be next Friday night.
Colts are 4-1, and I'm not sure who they were playing this evening.
Oh, they were losing earlier we heard, so well, maybe PJ can check that out on the for us on the sideline. 1st and 10 upcoming for the Trojans. Sampson, low snap again, hands it off.
That's good backside
nice
pursuit
tackle
there.
there made by the Rams. That is number 14, Ethan Box. Damani Roebuck was on the carry as he tried the left side, tried to string it out.
He had some running room there, and as he tried to cut it up, Ethan tracked him down from behind. As I said, when I was talking about him offensively, Ethan could easily be the top receiver for a lot of teams that we faced at this point. And he came from the entire opposite side of the field to track that play down from behind there. So really a wonderful defensive play for Ethan Box on that one.
All right, Johnstown going to get ahead and call another timeout. 8:28 remaining here in the ball game. 63-0. They'll have a 2nd and 5 coming up from their own 23-yard line. So far, I think the JV team doing a pretty good job handling themselves pretty nicely.
Well, I tell you, I mean, the number one, the playbook's a bit limited. You're not going out there and running Richland's usual spread, and you're up 63-0. So there are a lot of things that we would ordinarily do in a 14-0 ball game that not going to happen. So defensively, there's a little bit of an advantage to that, so they get to track that down. But what you want are they in the right place? Are they do they know where their assignments are? Are they running the right way? Are they getting snaps off? And to their credit, I'm probably jinxing them now, but they haven't had a delay game. They haven't had a hold. They haven't had an illegal motion. Some good penetration by some of the Johnstown players at this point. We don't know the grade matchup that you've got going on, but they've executed the offense the way you're supposed to execute the offense, which is what you want to see.
All right, so 2nd and 5. Sampson will keep it himself as he goes right side. And he's going to be tracked down there. Ethan blocks again on the tackle. That's going to be a loss of about 3 yards back to the 20-yard line. That'll bring up the 3rd down. So Ethan blocks a couple nice tackles on this drive.
I'm not surprised at all. Ethan's a heck of an athlete.
3rd and 7.
3rd and 7 to come from the Trojans. Sampson back to throw. Sampson getting some early pressure. Sampson rolls off his left. Sampson's going to throw. Has a man open down the middle and overthrown. Intended receiver is number 17, Kobe Richland. Nice arm by Sampson. He put a lot on that. Pretty much threw off his back foot. Just a little too much on that pass and bring up 4th down and 7.
Well, he is a freshman, but he's a 6'2 freshman. One of the things that if we're going to hear more from Sampson as a quarterback later on for Johnstown, well, that was a strong throw. He's got a bit of a wind-up to that delivery, which means you can get away with that in high school, but you need more time. And even there, not a lot of time with him. So I'm sure that'll be something as he develops as a young man and an athlete, he'll look to develop.
Johnstown going to go for it on 4th and 7. And Sampson taking a lot of extra pressure. Get the ball away. I think he might have been over the line of scrimmage anyway. Incomplete pass, and Richland will take over at the Johnstown 21-yard line.
I believe the term there is ill-advised. But it's 4th down, and you're down by a lot, so anything to try to get the 1st down there. Who had him wrapped up, PJ? I couldn't quite see who had him around the waist, but somebody applied some good pressure.
That was Piscatello applying the pressure there at the end, but they didn't get to him until he got that ball off.
All right, so on the line we have Eli Fresh, number 59, number 53, Declan Piscatello, 72, Jordan Horsley, number 66, Dominic Guthrie, and it is number 64, Ethan Cupeo.
Jaden Kinsey in the backfield.
Wide receiver set to right, to left.
He's more of a goal line specialist, so we'll see if
It will be Kinsey on the handoff. Kinsey will try the left side, and he gets close to the 15-yard line before he's brought down.
Yeah, he 5 yards there. That's a good run.
Jaden's got a motor, man. I mean, you don't see him do anything where he's just not throwing his whole heart into it. So.
Hey, Jaden might be one of the nicest kids you'd ever meet. From a little kid down back at Arbutus up till now, he's always saying hi to you, goes out of his way to wave at you, to make sure you know that he's there. So I love the kid.
All right, Janidlo going to hand off to Kinsey again. Kinsey on the right side. He gets it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down and bring up 3rd down.
Easton Robertson checking back in.
And here comes number 44, Luke Vitale, into the game as well.
Luke injured earlier in the year. Had an arm issue and is back.
Good to see him back. So 3rd and they're going to call it 7. I think it might be shorter than that. 3rd and 4. There we go. The 15-yard line. It will be Easton Robertson who is taken down quickly off the handoff.
And this is what I'm talking about here. You want to make sure that they're executing the offense properly. You're not going to run the usual spread. Obviously, things are set up for a pass play here if you're in a regular football situation. So it does give the defense a bit of an advantage to it. So in many ways, what you're hoping to see out of your offense is are you getting a play from the sideline? Are you turning the right way? You hand it off? Are you firing off in your blocks? And they're doing that.
All right, 4th and 4. Janidlo keeping it himself, goes right up the middle. Janidlo should have enough for the 1st down as he gets inside the 10-yard line. That'll bring up 1st and goal for the Rams. Ball going to be spotted at about the, looks like about the 9. So a good hard run by Ethan Janidlo.
Kinsey back into the game.
1st and goal from the 9. Yeah, Jaden Kinsey.
It's first again.
Low, a hand off to Kinsey. Here goes right tackle. Kinsey pushes and pushes. And we'll see where they spot the ball.
I think the ball on the ground.
Yard
That was a fumble.
with a fumble. But who has the ball here? Looks
Johnstown recovered.
Johnstown recovered. So Kinsey loses the handle. Johnstown able to pick it up. They'll take over first down and 10, but they're deep in their own territory as the ball is spotted at about the looks like about the 6-yard line.
Well, if there's anything positive come out of that play, there's only 3:55 left on the clock.
There you go. 63-0 is your score here from Trojan Stadium.
PJ, I'm curious. I don't even know what the post-game question is for Coach Bailey. I'd like to know what he said in that first time out, because it seemed to me he wanted to deliver a message.
I had a whole lot of ideas now, but some of them are inappropriate. Others, they've lost their mojo.
You can always count on you to have the inappropriate idea.
Johnstown understand, but they're running a player onto the field. This is going to be illegal substitution, motion, whatever you want to call it. But that's just what you've been talking about, Jim. You took over on downs. You had all the time to set up, and then just as you're about to snap the ball, a player comes running in from the sideline to get into the offense. So.
Well, and you know, it goes back to the point about what's Coach Bailey watching with his offense. The players that are out there with their level of experience, are they getting to the right place? Do they know their assignments? And they've been able to do that. Johnstown starters had that issue as well. So you expect this kind of mix-up to happen once you get this point in the game where you've got guys getting that don't usually play. So Johnstown backed up to their goal line.
And you're just going to run Sampson straight up the middle. Now, Sampson able to do a nice job as he pushes forward. He gets it out of danger a little bit as he gets to about, I'm trying to remember the spot, it's about the 9-yard line or so.
I'm not sure who's here from the Tribune Democrat tonight, PJ, but it will be interesting to see the final offensive stat line for Johnstown. They other than one or two plays, especially in this late time, it's been a lot of negative yardage.
And second down upcoming for the Trojans, 2:44 and counting before the end of the ball game. And Sampson will go back in shotgun this time, and he will. Oh, that was Eli Fresh. Almost got the sack in the end zone, but Sampson able to get the ball away.
Yeah,
Eli Fresh almost had his safety there as he had a whole handful of Sampson, but Sampson able to push the ball forward.
I think if it's first quarter and it's a scoreless game, he probably stops playing that and calls the safe.
Yeah.
He should have to come out.
Good penetration there by Eli Fresh. That'll bring up third down.
Well, I'll tell you, I think this is maybe the fourth young man, the quarterback, the Trojans tonight, and they have all been pressured. No matter who's out on the field, whoever's been taking the snap for the Trojans has had to deal with red, white, and blue pressure from many different angles.
All right, 3rd and 6 from the Trojan 12-yard line now. Sampson going to go back to throw. Sampson rolling out to his left. Sampson looking. Sampson getting some pressure again. Sampson's going to have to take it himself. And let's see where they spot the
First
ball.
down, they're saying.
Yeah, first down. Sampson's a pretty good-sized boy. 6'2", 175, as you were saying. So hard to bring down. Nice play by DeAndre. The ball spotted at the 19-yard line. We're at 1:30 now and counting before the end of the ball game. Johnstown side, the band starting to play. Cheerleaders are still cheering. Johnstown taking an awful long time here. 5 seconds on the play clock. They'll hand off up the middle here. Ball pushed towards the 25-yard line. And we're right around the second mark before the end of the game.
It's a tough spot. A lot of work goes into this. This is obviously something that has gone Richland's way, and I got to be honest, Richland did not play a perfect, clean game. You know, the better team won tonight, and the athleticism was there. There were some mistakes early on, and Coach Bay will look to clean that up, but they did what they were supposed to do here tonight, and I'm not sure who the Trojans, what they've got next in terms of a game to be played.
Down to 14 seconds. And Johnstown will snap the ball. Sampson will keep it himself as he will go to the left side and he will go out of bounds. And that will be the end of the ball game. Richland wins here 63-0 against Johnstown. Friday night is
One other thing to point out just how dominant this was. Johnstown scored 54 points in the season, and Richland scored 63 on it. Something you have to keep working and keep grinding, and a lot of young players out there for the Trojans, to their credit, and hopefully this is part of a learning experience for them. And they get some more results out of the early tough times.
All right, so we'll just we'll keep it here, do a little post game until PJ will get a chance to talk to Coach Bailey. And on a night where Richland has just dominated, not much to say other than hope we have a good long run in the playoffs coming up.
The Richland ball boys appear to be having a genuine wrestling match over a shoe. And, more than one riot has broken up over a pair of shoes, so you got to be careful with that.
Trying to catch the numbers of those little guys. Number 9.
It's got the look
the
of a
Rockets.
Very violent game of Twister. Left hand red, green, right foot green.
You guys might want to listen into this.
Hear what they're singing. What are they singing down here, PJ? Oh, they're singing the alma mater. That's awesome. Richland Rams singing the alma mater in the huddle.
That's a class act there.
Love it. So again, Richland uses a lot of different players tonight, Jim. A lot of different weapons. Tonight was Graydon Lewis's turn. 3 touchdowns. 1 of 49, 1 of 54, and 1 from 13 yards out. Virtually untouched on all of them.
Yeah.
So,
McGowan with a touchdown reception. Who's Sam touchdown pass go to? Is that DeMont?
To DeMont Johnson.
Yeah. So a score for DeMont as well. And the ball spread around a little bit. And Bailey's willingness early on to throw deep balls to a couple guys that ordinarily that deep pass has gone almost exclusively to Griff LaRue. Or Griff Lane, as they like to call him out in Cambria Heights, apparently.
Hey, Ed, you ready?
I am ready. Let's head it down to PJ and Coach Bailey.
Coach Bailey, another outstanding job by your Richland Rams. Take us through the first part of the game. One thing I picked up on the sidelines, there was a point whenever we just started getting rolling, you weren't happy. Whenever you got into the boys, something shifted, and they just started firing on all cylinders. Bring us through that.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes. You know, Johnstown's struggling a little bit. They got some good athletes. They're just not able to put it all together. And I think it's hard as a team to come out and get up for that game. And, we just weren't hitting on all those cylinders in the first part of the game. But kids, fought through that, and was really proud of their effort. And really happy with our younger kids who came in at the end of the game, deserved the shutout.
Again, your line, your veteran line is just outstanding. I was actually getting video from our video production team, but from our fans. The Ram Nation texted me and saying, look how this line is driving this ball down. So tell us about your line and how important that line is to these young skilled players to allow them to do what they do.
Yeah, they've done a great job throughout their whole careers, and now we got a bunch of guys that are seniors up there just kind of leading the way, and they're really just making holes all over the place for our guys. Graydon Lewis had 200 yards rushing tonight, all in the first half, and that's something that hasn't been done in a while here.
Well, again, we move on from here. Our regular season is done. Do we have any idea who we will be facing or where we might be next week?
I think there's one of 5 different teams, and we're going to see how they do when we get out of here tonight. And it might involve some calculus or at least high-level trigonometry.
Somebody help you with that. So, Johnstown, their mascot's the Trojans. Trojans, a theme goes back in history, the Trojan horse. There was no Trojan horse in this field for the Rams to compete with, but what were you worried about coming down here tonight with your team, and did any of that happen?
I wasn't thinking about the Trojan horse, but
I'm very afraid, PJ, very afraid.
There's a big horse down there. There's
very
other
afraid.
Trojans that are, thrown out there, but we won't talk about that or anything. Obviously, although we're not on public radio network, we won't.
just happy with the win and ready to move on.
Well, I see you want to walk away from this, so I'm going to let you. But hey, listen, there is a Trojan horse in Richland where a lot of guys that want to hide from their wives go every now and then. It's behind my house. And some other Richland fans will be there if you coaches want to review some film or anything tonight, all right?
It's always good to know. Thanks.
All right. Hey, back to you guys. Another great win for Richland.
Brandon Bailey literally sprinting away from PJ McGowan at the end of that interview. More history in the making.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up here from Trojan Stadium with Richland Rams win this one 63-0 and are heading to the playoffs next week. We will host that game at Hurlinger Field, whoever the opponent may be. Hope you can join us. If you cannot, make sure you join us right here on YouTube.
And Fred Yennedy will be back.
And Freddie will be back, and Jim, you'll be back too, as you'll probably hear his voice in the background as we do the PA.
But I gotta,
announcing,
it's a playoff home game. I don't think I'm allowed to be enthused. I think the
gotta-
PIW rules
you gotta
are
be a
that
little bit careful. That's true,
I've got to be unenthused.
well, we'll look forward to hearing your unenthused calls. Anyway, for PJ McGowan, for Jim Penna, I'm Ed DiMartino. So long, good night, be safe, everyone, and we'll talk to you next week. You're listening to Richland Ram Football Network.